Okay.
Spooky.
Is it your? Okay. So just open it all this way. Oh. No. It's something. It must be. Okay. Okay. What is that? Okay.
Oh, that's familiar.
Yes, grab it. All right, it's still doing it, right? Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not, maybe not.
You need to silence that community board 7 on Zoom, you know?
That's us, that.
Yeah.
What's your question?
I think we have
No,
two.
no, I'm saying that there.
I think we just want to, should we just take this one?
Yeah.
But now we're not on the screen.
So
So that's,
I'm still jealous.
because that was,
Can we all go? Match.
Sure.
Where are we?
Yeah, my first.
sorry, just figuring out a couple of quick tech things. Oh, yeah. We can start. All right, we'll start with this one.
Yeah.
Okay, we are
Yes.
back, I think, and we'll just go with the screen to start and we'll, oh, we're good.
We're on.
Perfect. Okay. Welcome to the Community Board 7 preservation meeting. We have 6 applications on the agenda this evening. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
She said this isn't it.
Yes, I know, but there's a correct agenda online. This was just the old version that we accidentally printed.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so on.
Too bad.
Okay, you can abstain from adopting the agenda. There's one more to add to this, which is
You're welcome.
42 West 70th Street, which will be at the bottom of the printed agenda.
If that's here.
Yeah, so yours is
Yeah.
good. Okay, it's available on the CB7 website. Yeah.
Thank you.
So it will be 42 West 71st, 3 Riverside Drive, 170 Central Park West, 144 West 80th, 680 West End Avenue, 42 West 70th Street. The way that this committee operates is that we will have a applicant do their, sorry, I just gave you the wrong order. I gave you the order of the old agenda. The order of the agenda on the website, which is the one we will be using because that's the one that we legally posted. It will be 170 Central Park West, 680 West End Avenue, 144 West 80th, 3 Riverside Drive, 61 West 90th, and then 42 West 70th. Apologies. The way this will work is that we will hear from an applicant who will give their full presentation. Then there will be an opportunity for the committee members to ask questions to the applicant. Then we will hear testimony from the public. We normally limit that to 3 minutes per speaker. The applicant will have an opportunity to respond to the testimony, and then we will have a discussion of the committee members about if we want a resolution, what the resolution might be, and then we will vote on the resolution. So as we go through, we'll again hear from the applicant, the committee members will ask questions, the applicant will respond, and then we'll hear from the public. So without further ado, our first applicant, I believe, is here in person, and you guys can join us at the table. Yeah, and we can, I think we can share your slides.
170.
Yeah. Yeah.
by chance? I'm actually the first applicant. I'm doing it. I'm on screen and my colleague is in person. So I was going to do a brief introduction first.
Oh.
Okay.
Sure.
Yes.
And do you want to share the slides or do you want us to?
No, I think Bridget, who's there, will share them. Is that right, Bridget?
Yes, is there a way to advance the slide?
You'll just have to say next
Okay,
slide and
that's
Jeff will
fine.
advance it for you. But
Okay.
yes, Ken, please, yeah.
Oh, great. It is such an honor to be here. My name is Ken Wine. I'm the Chief Content Officer at the New York Historical, formerly known as the New York Historical Society, as I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know and have visited us, but you will soon because we are hosting the community board's next meeting in March. And then also we need you to come back in June because we are opening up our new wing at 76th and Central Park West, and we're gonna have we're just this very day, we're planning our June 17th, a big community open house. But we are here today to talk about banners. Like all museums, we've had banners on and off on our facade for decades and decades. A few years ago, we happened to not have them. We introduced a new system of banners. They are principally about our exhibitions. As you can imagine, our exhibitions are the lifeblood of the institution, both projecting our mission and getting people in the door to learn about their history. We've worked, you're going to hear from Bridget, through a kind of, I think, a really thoughtful and modest plan to have a renewed approach to banners. And the last thing I'll say before I hand over to Bridget is I am so proud. This year we are celebrating the 250th anniversary of our nation, and we have 7 exhibitions that are rotating over the next 18 months. So if you look at the facade right now on the left, there's a banner that says Democracy Lives Here, and on the right we're promoting whatever the exhibition du jour is of these 3 months. So to have a banner that says Democracy Lives Here, we are very proud of. Thanks for having me. Over to Bridget.
Hey, hello.
Hi.
Ready to kick off the slides? All right, so my name is Bridget Cook. I'm an associate partner at PBDW Architects, and on behalf of the New York Historical, I am here to propose the master plan for signage and lighting on the facades of the building. So we can go, here's our proposal, and then we'll walk through the different steps. So the building is a New York City landmark, individually listed. It's on the National Register, and it's in 2 overlapping historic districts. Go to the next slide. This is the building from 1937. So the original building in the center was built in 1908 by York and Sawyer architects. They were architects that worked on many bank buildings, and the original design really felt like a strong fortress design. And then we have the 2 wings that were added later to open it up by Walker and Gillette in 1938. This is the current configuration of the building as it is. So over the years, the historical has had to have different signage campaigns, as Ken mentioned. We have a compilation of different types of signs on the building for the many different uses of the museum. So there are signage, various signage on the front of Central Park West facade. We have a cafe that is denoted with the vinyl sign. There's also a restaurant that has an illuminated sign behind the window. There's wayfinding signage for the accessible ramp along the north side of the building on 77th, and there are kiosks on Central Park West. Next slide. So throughout the last few years, as Ken alluded to, we've had multiple proposals and approvals through landmarks for temporary signage. So this right now, we're approved with a temporary permit, but our temporary permit is expiring. So this is the configuration right now of the signage. And our proposal is to adjust this signage so that it fits in more tightly with the architecture, responds to the opening of the bays, and fits in with the engaged colonnade, which you'll see in the next slide. This is the north facade. And there, you know, that you saw the earlier version of the blown up different signage along that facade. This is the whole thing. Even though there's multiple signs here, it's very actually subdued and you don't see it until you're pretty close up on it. Next slide. There is no signage on the south facade currently. Next slide. And you can see a little bit of that construction going on that Ken mentioned. Okay, so over the years, there's been many iterations of signage at New York Historical, and this is just an example of, you know, many of the temporary permits that we've had on the building. As we've been developing the master plan, we looked at other museum institutions, landmarks in the neighborhood and in the city, and how they respond to the openings and the architectural features. So here's an elevation drawing of what we have today, the extent of the signage and the existing cable connection along the Central Park West facade. The signs are in blue. Next slide. So this is the proposal. So we're reducing the amount of signage at the maximum signage on Central Park West. This is the existing north facade. Next slide, and then the proposal here, the green, showing the new sign location proposed for the north facade. And here's the south facade as it is, no signage. Next. And here is the proposal with the one new sign on the corner there. Next slide. So here's a rendering of it all put together. So this is the idea of the master plan fully deployed. So the banners on the north and the south corners wouldn't always be up. And in fact, the plan is in the immediate future not to have those, but they want the ability in the future to have that. And the idea of the master plan with landmarks is to get it approved so that, you know, we're future proofing our proposal. So we don't have to repeat the presentation for another sign. So this is taken from the other corner. So you see, you know, the secondary entrance here. We also have that that corner, same symmetrical proposal here. This is the north facade, and you see the New York Historical has attempted to adjust the signage along the wayfinding signage along the edge of the entrance accessibility ramp there. Currently, it's more brightly colored, and the intent is to tone it down a little bit, but they want to make it clear to the public that this is a museum entrance, and this is, you know, where you could go. Next slide. Okay, so currently the existing signage, so we had a proposal that was approved in 2007 and 2010 when my office, PPDW, we went through a grand renovation of the project, really, you know, signaling the new openness of the museum, a museum for the city, and not anymore this private, you know, club anymore. So, but over time, some of the lighting and some of the signage, you know, you can't see anymore. So this is what the lighting effect is at night. So this is the second, you know, proposal to accompany the signage, which is the lighting. So this is what it is today. So we took a look at other museums in the, you know, area landmarks and how those buildings are lit. We've been working with Renfro Lighting Design, and they have suggested that using the lighting component that we see in those examples, by having an arm extending a bit past the facade in the upper area, we can get a better wash of light, not to overlight the facade, but to better illuminate architectural details without it being spotty and looking, you know, more dramatic. So we go to the next slide. So this is what the building, this was the lighting as it was when we finished our project in 2007 and 2010. So over time, a lot of those lights have become inoperable and have failed. There were halogen lights, and also the upper monumental windows there. They had a digital screen that moved across, and it was an LED panel that was designed. We had an LA lighting designer, and the technology has now changed. It has since broken. There are panels that are broken, and it requires a big amount of maintenance for the historical, New York Historical to update. So that's why that lighting is not being continued at those monumental windows. So next. So we actually have a newer version. It doesn't say placeholder, so please excuse the tag here because it's not meant to be a placeholder. This is the proposal. So the lighting, this is a drawing by Renfro for us, showing all of the lighting put together in our proposal. So the original sidewalk lights that were these bullet sidewalk lights within are from being reactivated. The existing lights on the two pavilion wings are being reactivated as well. The color is being changed out from, purple and blue, changing colors to now match the yellow, glow of the rest of the colors, white lighting. And then in the center, we are reusing existing light fixture locations and conduit and extending an arm in those locations to light below the lights along the colonnade base. So we'll see that the ledge in the next slide. So here's a drawing showing the new extended arm. So the new extended arm extends 16 inches past this colonnade ledge, and it's 25 feet up in the air along Central Park West. We're reusing the ballast, we're reusing the conduit, reusing the junction box. So the new components are the arm and the light fixture itself, which is small. And it includes a light shield, so you don't see the spot. You have less light spill, and the color of the arm and the shield and the light fixture would all be custom to match the limestone of the building facade, as the previous lights were. Okay, and in conclusion, we have the lighting effect would, improve the visibility, improve the evening, safety, being able to see on the street. We think that makes it more welcoming, and we're working with very high-end lighting designers to make sure that we have a very sensitive treatment. The lighting and the banner layout are both respectful and symmetrical about this classical, layout of the building itself, working within the architectural features.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Great.
Yes.
I'm a little confused about something. Are those banners covering those windows?
There are two banners on the two outer edges that span over one column in each side, and they do cover the windows, yes.
Because the way I'm looking at it now, you have more than half the window, from this visual, you have at least half the windows covered. Is that wrong?
Well, this rendering, actually the rendering is probably better to look at than the sketch, because that's a grill on the two wings. It's not a banner. So those are giant windows that are open.
Which photo do you want me to go to?
Keep going up. I hope it's in this one. Oh yeah, you can look at that. So that's a grill. You see on that corner
Yeah,
there.
I see on the
Yes,
south.
yes.
But my question is, what windows? From this view, it looks like there are only two windows that are not covered.
There are two in the center bay and then two on the two pavilion ends. The big windows on either end are open.
With the grills.
Yes. And then all of the windows on the bottom are open.
But just the windows, even if the banners aren't there, the windows are still blocked because that's where the painting's at, right?
The windows already had LED panels that were
So it's not like,
merged together behind them. So
Okay.
they don't let light in. There's nothing. It's
Yeah.
all drywall behind there. It's-
Yeah.
Okay, so
Solid.
the picture that we saw of all those windows
Yes.
is not for what it's gonna be.
No, that's what it was. Yes.
All of the banners that are shown are temporary.
Yes,
correct?
yes.
So they're, okay, so,
And
so
they
there's
all-
no
yes.
permanent signage.
Correct. It's all, there's a cable system that exists on Central Park West. And there are attachment points, eye hooks and brackets. And in the appendix, we go into those details. But they are to remain. So we're not making any new penetrations on Central Park West. We're reusing the existing system. On the north and south corners, we don't have a cable and connectors where we need them to align with the same size as the ones on Central Park West. So those are new attachments, but we would be making them in the joints, in the mortar joints, so that we wouldn't be, it's on the ashlar in between the joints, no new.
The banner that says democracy lives here,
Yes,
is the here the museum or is the here the country?
The Upper West Side.
That's exactly the effect we're going for is,
Yeah, I have the elder.
it's up to all of
Depending on
us.
your answer,
It's up to all
I
of us
either
to
have a
make it here.
suggestion or I don't.
Have an arrow.
So which is it?
It's up to us. Is this a serious question?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a serious answer.
no,
But
I
they
I can take this on if just for fun, which is that we were attempting to have a double entendre. The point is, of course, we are New York's oldest museum. We hold the Federalist paper. It is we have the holdings where the democracy, where George Washington was sworn in on a chair on our 4th floor. But we also wanted to make the point that democracy lives here in New York City. So
Okay.
it's fun for a while.
Just to take away any suspense, had you said that it refers to the overall celebration of democracy in our country, I would have suggested that you change it to the past tense.
Mm.
Or Mike, live here someday.
We're gonna have a
Aspiration.
question marks. We can put a question mark on it if we need to at some point.
Any other questions for the applicant? Yeah,
So I'm confused about one thing. On the current, handicapped ramp on the north facade, which I use frequently. So I looked at this application a few days ago, and then there was a whole new set today, and what I noticed today, I didn't notice the other day, but maybe it was there, was these placards lining the street side of the ramp, showing past exhibits or showing themes or something. Are they there right now?
Yes, they are
Yeah,
there
okay.
right now, and Landmarks asked us to tone it down. So
Ah.
that was the attempt to, there was some yellow and orange and blue, and there were a lot of, it was more colorful. And they thought that, it would be more appropriate for us to consider revising the graphics to make it blend in a little bit more.
So what
So
you showed,
that's what this effort is.
okay, so what you showed in what we received today, and it's much too small to see it there. Oh, that's not. even
Yeah,
drawn.
the one we had
This,
sent in was larger than this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know what.
those are the proposed ones, or would they be
Yes.
changing from time to time?
Well, they would change, but the idea is the same, that there's, mostly this color that matches the building as the background, and then the content would change relative to what the displays are inside.
Because it was, I mean, we will do our discussion, I guess, after the public speaks, but those attachments, placards, the ramp were what I found most, maybe the only troublesome thing about this, but I found most troublesome.
If you go up to one of the earlier slides, the first one where I introduced the types of signage on the building, you see that they are existing right now in their current. Go up one more. I think it's, yeah, actually, sorry, a few more. Sorry, that one. So here. Oh, it's dark picture on the lower left.
Yeah, I can't really.
That's what it's there, right, that, like that.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, for the new wing that's going in, do you anticipate signage is there?
No, Landmarks has asked us to be completely comprehensive, so this will cover what's in the new wing.
Okay.
Every time they send something, we add it.
okay.
Oh,
Any other questions? Okay, anyone from the public want to speak on this item here? Is there anyone on Zoom who wants to speak on this item? If you're on Zoom, please raise your hand. What's Q and A? Oh. That was from a while ago. Okay, so with that, we'll turn it over to committee discussion. Seeing that no one from the public wants to speak on this item. Anyone want to start us off? Otherwise, yeah, sure.
Actually, I did have another question if.
All right, we'll
That's
allow
okay.
it. I will remind people, there's a lot of agenda items.
Yeah, I
so,
get it.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. Remind me where the identifying name of the institution is on the.
There's a plaque on the north facade on the corner, right at the edge of Central Park West.
And New York Historical,
And also on the ramp, we created a laser cut bronze lettering panel that's right on the edge of the accessible ramp. So there's,
Central
Yeah.
Park West Facade.
no,
It says New
no.
York Historical.
Well, they're the banners
Banners,
would, but no, we don't have anything permanently affixed.
All right, I'll start up. I think the application is fine. Sorry that LPC told you that you can't keep the stuff on the ramp. I think that was fine too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think been by a few times and I walked by it and not even noticed the signage on the ramp, but then I walked by it, you know, come on my way into the institution. I thought, oh, this is really cool. It gives you a preview. So I think it's good.
So I was co-chair, I guess, of this committee when that huge renovation was done in 2007 to 2010. It was a very big deal. We had a huge hearing at the, what is it, First Universalist Church, whatever it's church. It was very, considered very controversial. We gave you a very rough time. We gave you a very rough time at the time. But I think it's turned out fabulously in terms of welcoming the public and the way the institution has changed. And I'm rather a fan of large, colorful, temporary fabric banners on public institutions that welcome the public. So I'm fine with the banners. I just don't find I have the skill or maybe the eye-brain coordination to really get the details on the lighting. I don't really have anything to say about the lighting one way or another because I don't think I fully understand it. But I don't have anything against it. I was, as I said, somewhat bounded by this array of, I think, unnecessary placards along the ramp, but I'm glad to hear that they are being toned down. So I guess we have two more people who might
I'm good.
talk, yeah. But I'm fine with it.
Okay, great. I saw you nodding. So the resolution is drafted, says, the following facts and circumstances were considered by the committee. 170 Central Park West, the New York Historical Society, now New York Historical, is an early 20th century Roman eclectic museum building. The proposed signage is relatively unobtrusive and fitting with the existing design. Therefore, it is resolved that Community Board 7 recommends approval of the proposed signage as appropriate to the structure. Anyone have any edits to that? Otherwise, I would suggest.
It is now the New York Historical.
historical.
It's now the New York Historical.
Wouldn't be much.
New York Historic.
We can all fill in the
Okay,
blanks.
we can add, I will add the definite article.
I would
Okay.
also mention that it's an individual landmark if you have not done so.
Yeah.
Say it's appropriate to this individual landmark or something like that. We don't really address the historic district when we've got an individual landmark, I think,
Correct. Well, usually, yeah.
or we can.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, it passes 6-0. Thank you. The other thing I'll just flag on this item is we will be at New York Historical next in March to vote on this application. We talked to the conflict of interest board. There is no conflict of interest here. Everyone was told about this, the entire board ahead of time, and invited to come to this meeting to discuss it if they were worried about discussing it while we're in the building. But at this time, we think that it's clear, but just wanted to flag that we did talk to Coy to make sure that there wasn't any conflict there. So thank you. You guys.
Calendar to go back to landmark?
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be April 10th, but we weren't sure what was
Yeah,
happening with the movement of this,
Yeah.
which would have pushed it a little bit
Yeah.
later, so.
We made sure to
go
try to
back.
keep you
Okay,
on,
great.
on time. So
Thank you
should-
very much.
We really
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for the good work.
Okay, our next application is 680 West End Avenue. And that is that you guys? Okay,
All
excellent.
right, come join us.
Sure.
No, yeah, do you want us to?
We
we
can share,
could-
we
we'll share
brought
the-
a board that we can show you, but if you put the drawings up there,
Yeah,
that
we'll
would
put
be
the
awesome.
drawings up too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Or- We don't have to use it when-
Right. How times change.
Not necessarily.
Is this what you
Yeah.
they want first?
Yep.
Yes.
First time at the Historical Society. I was a high school kid and my rich friend invited me to a party or garden party or something. I arrived in shorts and a t-shirt because it was June. At that time, it was not the
Not the thing.
or the Historical Society. They let me stay. And they fed me.
Okay, perfect.
So you had to get back on your horse and buggy.
I want to share with you as well, the same setup.
Oh, great.
In case you
Oh,
want to
great.
show it.
Ah, fun.
Those are larger photographs in case you want to.
That is a look.
So. Thank you, first of all, thank you so much for your time and having us here. My name is Raul Moitas, principal architect of record at process. With me tonight, I have Jonathan Marcos, the project manager, and Professor Jason Gia, PE. He is a PE or PPS. He is guiding our structural, the structural components of the project.
Great.
So to introduce the project, we have two applications currently in the map. We were already approved for the restoration of the facade. That is a separate application that is not that includes replacement of segments along the cornice and other repairs above the second floor. That application allowed the approval of GFRC for certain damage of terracotta. And what we're seeking through this application is the use, a limited, very limited use of GFRC between the fourth and the sixth floor. Yes. So the purpose of this visit is the meeting is to show what we do in the efforts to match the existing in terms of aesthetics, in terms of profile, and we will also like to show the location to show the visibility, the limited visibility of the segments. So we are set. Go ahead.
So thank you so much for your time to attend our presentation. So as project manager, I was conducting the close-up inspection along the main facade of this building and the west facade and the south facades. I conducted these inspections via drop scaffolds, and with the close-up inspections, I observed some severely deteriorated terracotta that are potentially could create other damages in the adjacent segments as well. So our proposal was to replacement with GFRC matching the existing terracotta segments. Actually, I have here a sample that you could.
So this is what we're passing right now is the sample approved by landmarks based on the matching the existing terracotta color, which is right here. So if you can put it next to each other, you'll see there is an ideal match in terms of the streaking, the color, the texture, the pigments. So that is already approved by landmarks. So we're just bringing this.
You mean approved for above the six?
Correct.
Okay, so now you want to use the same thing A
Correct.
couple of spaces below.
Between the 4th and the 6th floor, maybe on window sills.
Actually, you see the screen, that was the application.
And that's terracotta or
This
that's?
is terracotta.
Terracotta, yeah. For the segments to replace above the 7th floor.
Yeah,
So the segments that we want to replace are along 4th and 5th floors, along the west elevation and south elevation. We have in total a small number of segments to replace. In the west elevation, we have 14. And in the south, we have a total of number of 20. That means that we have 34 segments to replace. And in total, we have in these floors a total of close to 1,000 segments in the existing building. That means that our intention is to replace with GFRC around 3–4% of segments with terracotta to replace with GFRC.
So- So that's in terms of the number, like we, between the 4th and the 6th floor, there is a large number, we quantify it. And it's coming out 3.5% of the segments. Now, in terms of the location of the segments and their character and their profiles, we would like to also show them some photographs to demonstrate that the segments are not significant character. They are very simple, they're squarish, they're not cartouches, they're not in the main entrance, they're very simple window jumps. What sheet number is that, Johnny?
This is the number, you see 500. This is the one.
Yes. So
Here we are showing the jumps on both sides of the window. So the photos severely deteriorated the segments. For sure, our first intention is to try to repair it, but in this kind of damage, it will be impossible or it will be risky as well for the safety for the building and for the pedestrian.
yeah, as we know, the DOB has become more strict. This is a facade, this is a phased project, and due to faulty repairs and liability, the Department of Buildings is being prone to replacement. And as you can see, the crack of the terracotta is going through the wall of the terracotta, is going through the full thickness. So, repairing it will really be a high liability and more of a danger. So go ahead, Johnny.
Segments,
It's more window jams.
and I want to show you as well other segments.
We also
Have some seals, window seals as well, deteriorated. We'll have in total like 6 window seal segments in maybe 250 segments in total during these elevations. Below the 7th floor, below the 6th floor.
I think something important to notice here is that you can see that the window sill, it's set back from the water table. So even from a perspective, we have water tables on the 2nd floor and also on the 4th floor. So this water table protrusion will hide the majority of the window sills. The window sills will really not be visible.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is the segment that we are talking about. We have here terracotta water table.
You see, unless there's the big piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's not being replaced, it's the
No.
piece behind it.
Exactly, the window seal above the water table.
This will be very relevant to the pictures.
Right. So this is the segment we're replacing, and this large water table will block the view for it, right from the street.
and what's the material of the water tank?
The water table.
Terracotta.
Yeah, terracotta.
But none of the water table.
No, the water table segment is terracotta also,
Right,
but we are not
they're
gonna
We're not replacing anything on the water.
Yeah.
the segments that we are going to replace are all around the windows. Yeah.
There may be window jams, window seals, and there is a maximum, I think, 2 window headers.
Actually, we have other 2 segments, only 2 segments. One is this kind of panels, decorative window that we are gonna replace one, and we have one water table segment. That is shown here. Yeah. So this is the tympanus above the window. You can see this detail. And we have here one band on the water table.
only one section or what?
Yeah,
One segment.
one segment. And at the same time, we have only one segment for the lintel head. The rest of them are jumps or window seats. All the table as I mentioned before.
So then anything below this area, is anything below this
It's
area?
between the
that-
fourth and
Between
the sixth
fourth
floor,
and
nothing
first.
below, nothing
Fourth
below,
and fifth floor.
Yeah, well, that- okay.
nothing below the fourth floor.
Larger scale samples.
Yes, we have another sample.
A replica that it was provided already from the supplier.
The water table is visible, but it will block, it's like, and then the piece they're replacing is behind.
This is what's so big.
Wow.
We could move it around.
And it's beautiful, you can see the.
Can we keep
This
it as
is
a
a replica.
souvenir, put it in the corner?
Oh, my gosh.
A replica of the top, very top.
Wow.
It's very beautiful.
So that goes at the top?
That's GM.
How much do they weigh?
Well, I think, probably.
Yeah.
So this is one of the segments approved for the cornice. This is gonna be on the 13th floor,
Mhm.
but we just wanted to show you to see the detailing, the quality of the detailing of the fabricator that we would like to use. More simple segments. Really.
Anything else? Otherwise, questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
The upper floor stuff, including that, did any of that come to CB7 or was it staff approval?
It's all staff.
That was all staff approval
Yeah.
of the upper part?
That's the reason they're here is that staff can't
No, I
approve
know that.
things on the lower
No, but I
floors.
couldn't remember if we had.
Yeah.
No, we didn't come for
So
that.
this is the first time you're here.
All right.
Okay.
So I know, obviously the material is economically advantageous. Is there a thought that it's more long lasting or is it about the same as terracotta, do you think? The new material, TFRC.
So GFRC does, it has the advantages, you're right, that we have as restoration, the restoration industry is struggling with the terracotta right now. Because there's only 3 manufacturers and
Yeah.
You guys heard it before.
They're
It's a
difficult to deal with.
very, you hear it all the time, right? So as far as lasting, yes, it could last a long time, but it does require a level of maintenance, right? We are specifying, this is what our engineers here, we wanna make sure that the mix has the proper sealers, mix routine during the process to make sure that the maintenance is lower. And as we know, this building is gonna be monitored every 5 years through just the fifth cycle, right? So yes.
Right now.
Yes, but it's changing soon,
Yeah,
but it will be regularly monitored to warn, to create a warning and for maintenance, correct, yes.
Yeah.
And as far as the color and the ceramic, it's lasting, terracotta has been, or the material of preference and it's very strong, it requires less maintenance, but we believe that it's a good alternative with the low maintenance.
And the anchors, the attachments.
Yes, we brought some samples.
Samples. They use the same as the for terracotta. So we use these 5 bolts that is in the masonry backup.
And what is the material?
Stainless steel.
Stainless steel, yeah. And finally, this pin
What sort of stainless?
For the, the
is coming from
What?
both
What grade?
segments.
308, 316, what kind of, what sort of stainless? Is it marine grade stainless?
She was asking what grade of stainless steel? Yeah, which is 308.
I don't know what it is. I think it's probably whatever the standard is for.
I believe it's 308,
Yeah.
yes. For what I see on the space, I believe it's 308, yes.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna, but Jay first.
No, I just wondering how old is it?
So it was built circa 1918. So it's over 100 years, so yes.
My other question was, I think I understand that you need to remove
the sections of terracotta you intend to replace, you need to remove those and then you'll replace them. Is there any impingement on the adjacent intact pieces of terracotta as you remove the damaged ones that have to be replaced?
Luckily, because of the location, no. That seals, as you can imagine, we cut the joints on each side and we can just slide it without destroying. And once along the jams, which technically could be supporting something, they're so broken, they're just coming out. They will be easy to remove, yes. Yes. So there is no damage of disturbing or damaging additional sections to go from 3.5 to 10, or that's what you are, worried about.
Any other questions?
And there's nothing on the, looks like, is that a balconette on the front or? on the side?
Balconies in the 7th floor.
The balcony is on the 7th floor.
Okay, so you've already dealt with that?
Yes, and we got it.
Does anyone from the audience want to speak on this item? If you're on Zoom, and you want to speak on this item, please raise your hand. I don't see anyone. Okay. Then we will talk as a committee quickly. I'm happy to start. I love that terracotta, which, was meant to replace stone, and now GFRC is meant to imitate terracotta. So it's just skeuomorphic all the way down. Sometimes with these kind of applications, I get worried about like the difference in discoloration that you would get, but it looks like there's already a lot of buildup on the terracotta already. So I think the fact that the GFRC will also discolor over time will make it match perfectly. So I think this is great. And personally, I think maybe we should think about revising the LPC rules to allow, further down the building to be a staff level approval as well, given how good the technology has gotten at replicating features and things.
I'm good.
Yeah, I was by the building yesterday and I took a hard look at where I thought these things were gonna go, and I don't think it'll make a difference to anybody passing by. I think it makes sense.
Well, I have a couple of concerns, although I don't know that I have a different conclusion. For whatever their reasons were, the LPC does have a rule of yes, above the 6th floor and not below. And so this is asking for an exception to I don't know how long standing the rule is, and Adam may be right, that it may be that LPC might be changing the rule at some point to not have the 6th floor as a line of demarcation. The second thing that concerns me here is that the cost saving or difference in cost, while a sympathetic, very sympathetic argument to all of us, is not generally to be considered relevant to a application with regard to appropriateness. All of that having been said, I am reluctantly willing to support this one.
It's appropriate for me.
Okay.
Because it's a discrete hatching, yes.
Okay.
Can we just answer your question, explain, well, maybe you can do first.
Yeah, I do
Don't
sympathize.
snatch defeat from the last jaws of victory you've won.
I do.
Turn around.
Yeah.
It's timeline, right? It just takes. too
But I
long
do
to get-
sympathize with your thoughts, and I do, as a matter of fact, landmarks guided us to the rules, and there is a couple of limitations below the 7th floor. However, if there is a room for understanding to the word of limited interventions, and I think this is where community comes and say, like, I don't know if 3% is the number, but there's gotta be a minimum that you guys, and the location, right? If it's a main entrance, if it's like a cartouche and a relevancy one, the landmark does have that delineation on the rule. So, and we do also have a similar point in Western Island, we're doing all terracotta. So that, 375
Can you tell us where that one is?
375 Western Avenue.
And you're doing all terracotta?
All
replacement?
terracotta, yes.
Ooh, I love
10th
that.
floor, all terracotta in kind, and we're about to fight for the 11th floor, all terracotta in kind. Yes.
Where are you getting the terracotta?
It's Glading and Marvin. Glading and Marvin, yes.
Okay. I think.
Yeah, so ma'am, can I just, chip in quickly? So the code does saying allow a limited quantity, so we do have very limited quantity. The second key elements here, so physical visual compatibility is critical. So the element we are replacing, It's not critical element. So for these beautiful buildings, we're not here trying to save money. We want to preserve like everyone else. Another issue is a safety issue because those cracks through the terracotta right away. We have accident in Manhattan before. You know, I remember one of those, a female architect was hit by the terracotta and then she passed away. So we want to make sure also terracotta production, all the process takes months, could go to years. Then these pieces are hanging there, it's just not safe for anybody. And also, you know, so that's a 2 point, 1 point unsafe. Second point, the element we are replacing is not visible critical to the outlook of this building.
And I think that if it's with the doors surround, we might have a different view.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not-
Yeah.
So thank you
Okay.
for understanding.
All right, so the application, the resolution is drafted as the following facts and circumstances were considered by the committee. 680 Watson Avenue is a 1916 to 1918 neo-Renaissance apartment building. The proposed GFRC matches the existing terracotta and is complementary to the original design. Therefore, it be it resolved that Community Board 7 recommends approval of the proposed use of GFRC as appropriate to the structure. I would make motion to vote.
Well, I think
Yeah.
we need to say which historic district it's in.
Okay, we can
I don't
add
think we
which
heard that.
historic district, which historic district is it in? It's West End,
Extension.
is it the extension?
Yeah, it's in the extension.
It's in the extension? All right,
Yeah.
okay.
What, is it 2 or 3? I don't
Maybe
know.
it's back to recycle, but it's very useful to
No,
have.
this is good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, all in favor? Yeah, okay, great. Passes 6-0-0-0. And do you have a date that you're going before LPC?
Probably early next week. I'm not I'm not sure.
I don't think it's been,
Okay.
we will vote on this as a full board in early March.
Oh,
And then you can go to LPC and say, they're gonna vote on March.
Very early March,
Yeah,
I
March
think it's March
2nd,
second.
March 2nd, okay.
Yeah, so,
It's actually
The
March
first
3rd.
March,
Tuesday.
whatever the
first
No, no,
Tuesday.
it's not anymore.
They moved
It's
it.
not-
That's the New York
Oh.
Historical Society.
Okay,
I think it's the 4th.
Oh.
But
Oh.
is it?
Why is that? They moved it?
Because of,
Third.
because of Purim,
oh, that's,
That's a,
I guess.
okay, it will be on
I'm a Christian, what do I do?
Wednesday, March 4th. Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Assuming you guys
I don't
approve it, we
Yeah.
still have to confirm the approval with landmark.
Like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
what will happen is you will now have to go before the commission,
Correct.
but after, as long as you have a date after March 4th, this recommendation from the community to support the application, unless at full board, everyone decides to change their mind, which I think is unlikely, but could happen.
Yeah.
Then you'll have that. So,
This is
yeah,
our committee's recommendation to our full board,
Yeah.
and the full board does a resolution. It's highly unlikely that they would reach a different conclusion, and you don't need to be there unless you want to.
Mhm.
But you do need to go to LPC
Of
for
course.
your
Yeah, sure.
certificate of appropriateness.
Thank you so
hearing.
much.
okay.
Thank you.
Good luck.
thank you.
And thanks for coming in person and showing everything.
Thank you. We love that.
Very cool to see.
Yeah.
I would have approved it just for you guys schlepping it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Consideration.
our next item is 144 West 80th Street. We have Mark on Zoom. I believe this one is what some folks from the community want to speak on. So again, just to outline how it'll work again. They'll present. We will ask them questions, then we will pause. You guys will all have an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes, up to 3 minutes. Again, very long agenda, so if you're just repeating what someone else said, be thoughtful about that. And when you want to speak, you'll come up, you'll need to introduce yourself with your full name, and then you will speak. And yeah, then the applicant will have a chance to respond to the public commentary, and then the committee will discuss. And the other thing I just want to say before Mark gets started here is that the role of this community board and the preservation committee is to determine if something is appropriate to the historic district. So we don't deal with building code issues, zoning issues,
Noise.
construction issues, noise issues. Those are not part of the Landmark Preservation Commission's gamut, or things like, what the property is going to be used for. Like if something is converting from commercial to residential, we don't do anything about that. So just wanted to outline that ahead of time. So with that, Mark, you can unmute yourself and share your screen, and we can get started. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for starters, I'd like to thank everyone for allowing us to present. My name is Mark Barak, and I'm here to present the proposed addition to 144 West 80th Street, presenting on Zoom since we have our entire team kind of spread out around the country. But via Zoom, we have our owner, Melissa Rose, and also we have our project manager here in the office with me, Alicia. So let's jump into it. The property is located at 144 West 80th Street. That's between Amsterdam and Columbus on the Upper West Side. And it has a lot of unique features that are worth highlighting before we get into the new design. Specifically, it was part of a 5 brownstone development, and it had the unusual pattern of going A, B, C, B, A, and we are the C in the configuration, meaning that there's some similarities between our building and the adjacent, but also ours is completely unique. And that's highlighted by the fact that we don't have arched windows on the top floor. We also have a higher parapet. Diving into the donut and the block itself, it's really important to highlight that the buildings that are on West 79th Street are large multifamily buildings, many of which encroach on the 30-foot rear yard setback. When we look at 80th Street, specifically the area in the center of the block, there's 25 row townhouses. Of those, 16 have already built additions in various scales and proportions. Specifically, when we look at the 5 buildings that were built alongside ours, 4 of them already have additions. So there's a lot of precedent for building more space within this neighborhood. Zooming in on our building itself, our proposed addition is twofold. One, we extend the height of the building to add another floor, and also we will rationalize the back of the building by squaring off the facade. We'll dive into that as we go through each part. When you look at the front facade from the street, it's really important to see some of the similarities between the adjacent buildings, such as the rounded windows and the curved headers on the parlor level. But then it differentiates itself when you look at how the parapet is substantially taller than the adjacent buildings. Our proposed work to the front facade includes restoring it and also replacing the windows and bringing back the curved windows on the parlor level, which have since been removed. All of the rest of the items which we'll be doing on the front of the facade are all staff level review and don't involve anything that would require a commissioner level hearing. The rear is where we're doing a more substantial upgrade. It's currently a haphazard mix of materials and various patch openings. Our intention is to create a rational control over the rear of the facade while also paying reference to the geometry and design of the front facade. Our material palette is also echoing the materials on the front of the building, such as using Glengarry brick, blue stone for the headers, and then trim using metal and wood that's painted black. For confirmation, our entire window package will be Marvin Ultimate. We've been working with our LPC staff member to make sure that the scale and dimensions all meet the code for Landmark's precedent. Now, I want to dive into why we're doing this. I know that the plan doesn't really have your jurisdiction, but I want to explain who's going to be moving into your neighborhood, your neighbors. This is a multi-generational family. It's the typical sandwich generation. And in order to make this space more livable for multiple generations to live under the same roof, we wanted to take some time to rationalize not just the interior, but the way that the building approaches the rear yard. Right now, the building butts up against a large residential multifamily building, and we wanted to try to create a more unified facade. In doing that, we wanted to straighten it rather than creating the typical divot that's evident throughout the rest of the block. We also are adding another floor to the top. It's very important that I reiterate that this vertical addition is not visible from the street. We'd attempted to build a mock-up, but due to the snow, we weren't able to gain access to the roof. Before we present to the commissioners, we'll have a mock-up prepared. But due to the fact that the building has a larger parapet, it will not be visible from the street. We also wanted to pay reference to the building's cornices in the rear, and in doing so, we pulled the rear wall of the vertical addition back slightly so that we'd be able to highlight the proposed cornice, which would be reinstalling. Our building falls well within the zoning envelope, but we also wanted to be respectful to all of the precedents set from neighboring additions, as well as landmarks general stipulations. Looking at it through Axon, you can see that the two neighbors to the west already have built vertical additions, and that our addition does not extend anywhere beyond the typical zoning envelope. What's more unique is when we look at it from the rear. To the left, you can see the existing massing. To the right, you can see our proposed massing, where we're going through some steps to create a more clean facade. Here's an overlay so that you can see the proposed and how that'll bring more of a rational piece of geometry to the facade. Looking at it through renderings, we really wanted to create not just something that worked for us functionally within the building, but something that would be appealing to look at for those who are on the donut. In doing so, we tried to match some of the geometry of some of the openings in the front, and also highlight some of the eclectic materials that were already within our building and are also evident throughout the Upper West Side. Looking down the street, some of the existing vertical additions are evident. And in this diagram, you can start to highlight which ones you can see standing on the street. When we zoom in on our adjacent neighbors, one of which is clearly evident when looking across the street. Same thing when we're looking at the opposite sides. What's more unique and a more interesting discussion is what's happening in the back of the building. Materially, the building's been covered with stucco, so there's very little contextual awareness of any of the adjacent buildings. Also, not only has our building been modified in terms of its window openings, there's no consistency from one building to the next. Our intention here is to try to highlight some of the natural qualities of these brownstones, but also create something that's more rational, functional, and practical for the rear yard. As we highlight the neighbors to the west, you can see that their addition not only doesn't have any contextual awareness, but also it doesn't match the scale and proportion of what would be appropriate in this row. Also, we want to highlight that our rear facade has already been degenerated to the point that there's no existing cornice, and our intention is to start to bring back some of the historic qualities of the building. Looking to the east, some of the adjacent vertical additions are also evident when you're standing in our rear area. Our real goal here is to create a rear facade that has the same connection to the neighborhood as the front. And in doing so, we really want to create sort of connective tissue that starts to create a harmonious balance between the rear donut and the street itself. We're really grateful to have this opportunity to present to the community board, and we are really excited to be part of this community as this multi-generational sandwich family moves in. We thank you for your time, and we look forward to hearing your comments.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Questions from the committee? Please.
First, since I was assigned West 144, West 83, I did go there. And there was nothing visible. And actually, my first question has been answered, whether there was a mock-up.
Yeah,
So-
we had attempted to do it twice, and both times it wasn't safe to go up on the roof. Sorry about that. It was just based on the snowstorm we had a couple weeks ago. But we will be very happy to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I have no reason to doubt what you're telling us. How far back from the front is the proposed addition?
It's beyond 20 feet. So in this situation, it's more than enough that once we started looking at our site angles, that it wouldn't be visible even if you were standing on the stoop across the street.
And the depth of the building is,
The overall depth of the building is 62 feet.
and standing across
60,
the
I'm so
street.
sorry, 66 feet. I didn't mean to misspeak.
And how much backyard space is there?
We'll be leaving 30 feet for zoning requirements.
You're able to leave 30.
Correct.
Okay, because standing across the street, one can see the rear facades of the taller buildings
Yeah.
in back.
I don't want to pull up Google Earth right now, but it's important to note that the buildings that are on 79th are substantially taller and they also encroach on the 30-foot rear setback.
The, okay. Go ahead.
But when you say they encroach on the 30-foot setback, then how do you?
There it is.
how do
For
you get
example,
it?
if we look at some of these buildings further down the street, they just predate zoning rules.
Do you want to see a photo? I can share this.
No, and I apologize, I just want to understand, if they're encroaching on your 30.
No,
No.
No.
On their own.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, I
Of course.
misunderstood. Now,
Like, and that's very typical because these buildings were
yes.
turn of the
Got it.
century.
This building has been a multi-family building previously, right? Does that change now with this, with the multi-generational? Will they have their own units? I'm just curious.
That's a great question. So our clients purchased it as a 4-unit building. And even though there are going to be 3 families living within the space, it will be legally considered a single family home. But to explain why that happened, it wasn't necessarily by intention. It was more by design so that they could have an elevator that could service the aging eldest generation. And in order to create a more seamless circulation pattern for the stairs and the elevator, we decided to go for single family.
Okay, thanks.
I have comments, but not questions, so I'll wait until I
Okay.
hear from the public.
Matt?
We did ask when there wasn't a mock-up build, we did ask the applicant to come back.
I think in this case, because it's not visible, it's probably not necessary, but.
And we did
Yeah.
truly
I think
try.
there is an argument to be made that that's also what the other applicants said
Yeah.
as well, and it was visible. And I just think it's
It's a good
it's
point.
just something that we should think about. I think 20 feet is,
Yeah,
the
should
last
be
one was
safe.
8 to 10 feet off
Yeah.
the front.
Well,
So
maybe,
it will be a material difference, but I do think,
maybe to avoid having to come back
Come
for a
back.
formal meeting, when they put the mock-up up, they can notify us
and we can do a site
and we
visit.
can verify.
I think
Yeah,
that's fair.
verify.
Yeah.
So Mark, when you guys do the mock-up, if you could send the photos to us, and then that way we will, when we present this to full board, whichever way the resolution is, if we have a resolution, we'll include the photos with the
Yeah.
mock-up. So please send them to us when you construct it.
Of course, and I'd like to jump in and just working with our landmark staff member, they said that due to the fact that this is already so far set back, it doesn't require a permanent mock-up. They're going to allow us to do one where we manually hold posts and construction tarps. So what we can do is we can pick a day in which it's convenient for you. We'll have our contractors stand on the roof and set it up so that you can see it in person while we document it.
Whatever day you're gonna do it, just send us a photo.
Right.
We don't need to be there.
Okay, great.
Easier for you guys, yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
And I have no questions for the applicant. Okay, we're gonna start with in person and then we're gonna go to Zoom. So if you're on Zoom and wanna testify on this application 144 West 80th, you can raise your hand now, but just flagging, we're gonna do all the in-person testimony first. So with that said, I will get out my 3-minute timer. And if we can create a sign-up sheet, but if we could just start at one end of the row and we'll just work our way through for folks who want to testify. So just come up, introduce yourself, and again, you have 3 minutes to speak on the application. So would you like to speak on this?
No.
Is there anyone? Yeah, sure.
Thank you. My name is Nitisha Pandey. I live in 146 West 80th Street. So you saw our place in the drawings, it's right there. And yes, so I'm speaking on behalf of the co-op. Thank you for this opportunity to address you. I want to begin by saying that we deeply respect the work of this preservation committee in safeguarding the architectural character of our neighborhood. This is why it is especially important for us to share how closely our building is affected by the renovation next door. Because of the historical architectural connectivity between 144 and 146 West 80th Street, any construction or renovation activity at 144 affects our building directly and immediately. Since the renovation work began late last year, we at 146 have already experienced significant consequences. Their work has created an environment that is not only unpleasant, but genuinely harmful to the health and well-being of the residents, including children as young as 2, seniors as old as 80. We have 6 people over 70, and long-term community members who call West 80th Street their home. If the very start of this renovation has already had such a profound impact on our building, we are deeply concerned and frankly afraid of what the implementation of the full scope of their plans may look like as the work progresses. We are a small co-op with limited financial resources. We do not have the expertise to manage risks posed by a major renovation project next door. Their renovation has already placed a substantial financial burden on us. We have been forced to hire or engage lawyers, engineers, air quality specialists, and exterminators. We are afraid that we will soon be unable to sustain the mounting expenses needed to protect our home from the effects of their work. It is profoundly scary and vulnerable feeling to know that one's home and one's health may be at risk. Many of us have lived in Upper West Side and have been part of this community for decades. We care deeply about the history, character, and safety of this neighborhood. So I'm here today to respectfully ask for the committee's help. As you review the renovation plan for 144 West 80th Street, we urge you to encourage the applicants to take proactive, not reactive, steps to minimize harms to their neighbors, both structurally and environmentally. We need them to adopt stronger precautions, clear communication, and real accountability as this project advances. In closing, we appeal to this forum, please help ensure that 144 conducts its work with the highest level of care for safety, transparency, and responsibility. Their project may be about the future of their building, but its impact is very much the present reality for us. Thank you for your time and attention.
Okay, thank
And
you.
can I ask a question between them and the applicant on the?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Because we have 4 more applications and we outlined how we were gonna do this. So we're gonna say what we said we were gonna do.
Longer later.
I think,
Anyone else wanna speak on this application?
if Mark wants to stop sharing his screen, so we can.
Yeah, Mark, if you
Yeah,
could
Mark, if you could
stop.
stop sharing, so we can have testimony on.
Perfect, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Robert Levitt. I'm a retired neuroscientist from Columbia University. That doesn't mean it has anything to do with neuroscience, but people like to hear about that.
Sure.
One major concern is the health of the inhabitants of the building next to 144. Currently, 144 is undergoing almost a complete destruction, inside and out. The problem is what happens to the neighbors. Yesterday, we measured a 500 microgram per cubic centimeter pollutant level in our house. Under medical terms, and I'm not a medical scientist, if we live for 3 months under those conditions, which we are purported to have to do, we will all have heart and lung disease. The people who are building this building, although they have been made aware of this situation, have done nothing except tell us all will be well. They have done nothing to mitigate the pollution caused by the demolishment of the interior of the building. Our problem is, what do? Do we just sit and wait to get sick? Do we talk to the people who are building the building, which we have? Have we talked to New York State, which we have? The question we have for you is, how can you help us conserve our health while helping develop the neighborhood in which we live?
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public who would like to testify in the room? Is there anyone on Zoom who would like to testify? If you are, can you please raise your hand? Okay. No one else in the, okay, excellent. Mark, want to give you, as the applicant, an opportunity to respond to any of the public testimony.
Well, for starters, thank you for giving us a chance to respond, because our clients have been working with the neighbors for months to try to create some sort of collaborative way to address some of their concerns. I'd like to point out that at the beginning of this presentation, the board asked that you only focus on the directive of what is relevant to this board. The fact that the building neighbors made no attempt to actually discuss the design, but instead use this as a forum to air personal grievances, is more indicative of the fact that when we try to work with them, we get the same level of obstruction. So we still would like to work with your neighbors, and we would still like you to respond back to our agreements in which our lawyers have drafted, so that we can actually work with you and help you have a healthier lifestyle. Now that's been said, we would really like this committee to actually focus on the design of the building, because that's why we're actually here. And we're eager to hear what your response is. Thank you all.
I'd say, Mark, we know what our duty is and our responsibility as the Preservation Committee. So thanks for pointing that out. We are well aware. As a community board, as a whole, we frequently work with affected buildings and neighbors and so forth like that. Not this committee per se, but through our own office structure and so forth. So that's probably we can help figure out some ways of making that happen.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. In the past, when we've had situations around this, where DEP needs to get involved, or DOB, Department of Buildings, Department of Environmental Protection, our staff can certainly help, and we can, if you provide your information, we can do that if you don't know how to get in touch. Also, our councilwoman is very helpful, Gail Brewer, at connecting folks to agencies when there are concerns about work that's being done that is not permitted and is unsafe, or if environmental monitoring should be required, or if the things aren't being followed. But as Kay outlined, we are going to look at this application on the merits of it, but really think that through our community board staff and through Councilmember Brewer's office, they can help you try to make sure that everything is being done and try to get to a resolution, because I don't think any of us here like knowing that you guys are going to end up with lung cancer if it continues the way it's going. So thank you for coming, Jay.
Yeah, and I agree with Kay that the purview of the committee may be limited, but the purview of the board goes well beyond that. And I was going to suggest the same thing, that you contact the office. We've dealt with these issues before, but not necessarily at this committee. I have a technical question. Adam, you probably know the answer. My building's undergoing a major repair project now, and as part of that, we have to file a site safety plan. Basically, how it affects our two neighbors. Is that something that you do? I mean, a specific site safety plan?
Actually, it's really good that you bring this up, because it is true that a properly executed site safety plan requires cooperation with your neighbors, because it not only protects our client's building, it protects their building. And while the neighbors frame this as an argument as if we've been working in a void, we've had numerous discussions with their legal team and their architectural council. So I feel like, if anything, they tried to ambush us by painting us in a very negative light, when from day one, we've invited them into the process. And also, whenever there has been an issue, we've been very quick to attend to their concerns. I'd also like to point out that when it comes to doing cleaning, remediation, covering chimneys and other mantles and fireplaces, these are all things that have been offered but instead all we received was obstruction and delays. So I hope that this is a chance for us all to restart and that we can work cooperatively to get this extra phase of the project done, which does not affect you as heavily because I'm a member of the Upper West Side and I care very much that everybody is comfortable and safe. That said, to get a project run smoothly, it requires cooperation. And if we're just going to get obstruction, that makes it a lot harder. So please work with us through proper channels and make sure that we can work well together.
Okay,
Well, man,
thank you.
I'm sorry. May I add something? I guess it depends on perception.
Okay.
You know, it's not the right forum.
Mark, thank you. In the interest of time, and understanding that we cannot solve everything tonight, I'm gonna ask that we focus now just on the merits of the application, and discuss if we want a resolution and what that resolution should say.
I actually fine with the design. Primarily on the rear, we really haven't seen a design for the rooftop addition. All I know is it's set back approximately 20 feet, and ostensibly it's not, okay.
That's it.
That's it, okay. What
No,
are
that's
the
not.
materials?
That's not, that's the
that's not it.
existing
That's the
floors, you're
front,
not seeing the canted rooftop addition.
What is that
floor.
great?
Yeah, there we go.
No, the great thing on top
That's
is
the
is
back.
the
Okay, that's,
addition.
yes, okay, that's right.
That's the
right,
addition,
that's right.
okay.
But that's the back, we don't see it from the.
And
from
it's
the
full
front.
width, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, what does the front look like?
We don't know.
Can we say in our resolution that if we decide to approve, we're approving on the basis of what we see in the photographs that they're
And
going to
the
get to
renders.
us to see whether.
Oh, if
that
it's
is-
visible, yeah, we can
Yeah.
put a conditional approval. Yeah.
Okay, just quickly, what's the material on the proposed rooftop
Oh,
addition?
that's a great question. I can share with you that detail slide. And it would be a standing seam metal roof, which is something that's already reminiscent of dormers and bulkheads in the neighborhood.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Zinc or what?
It would be painted metal, so it would have a black PVD finish, so aluminum.
And the rest of the structure is stucco?
No, brick.
Brick?
Yes.
The brick back, but it's all, so it's clad all in this,
The whole
Roof
thing is
material.
clad in metal?
in the metal, right?
Okay.
No, I
Okay.
can go back to the rendering if that helps you.
Yeah,
Maybe.
okay, now I see the divisions. Okay.
All right. Yeah, at least as rendered, it looks, I think it looks appropriate and similar to some
Our
other
assumption
things.
is no visibility. So.
First, I realize I'm confused with the front facade. Are we being asked to opine, you showed one slide with existing and proposed of the front facade. Are we being asked to opine on anything on the front?
Everything is staff level for the front, but we just wanted to illustrate that we will be restoring it and replacing the windows.
Okay,
Okay.
so on the rear, yeah, this is the slide you had up when I wanted to ask the question before. The building to the left is the one that is 166, is that right?
Correct.
146.
I mean, 146, excuse me. It's got a couple of floors of white and there's sort of that orange stuff down there and then recessed brick. My question on this, and then I'll comment on it, is you are going back full width, 5 floors plus then your canted 6th floor addition, leaving a 30-foot yard. What is the plane of your proposed addition, rear yard addition, compared to the rear plane or planes of the 146 next door?
Well, since the neighbors all have a rear addition that's not rectilinear, our plan is to split the difference by squaring off the back.
I don't
So
know
we
if this
won't
answers
be
your
as
question.
far back as their rear additions, but we'll be further back than the existing rear facade.
Well, is 146 has less than a 30-foot rear yard and on its
In some
lower-
cases, these they predate city zoning, so the rear additions, they get within the 30-foot setback.
And that is the case on 146?
I believe so. We only have a survey of our property, but yes, in the case of our property, that was the condition, and all 5 buildings were built at the same time.
Okay, my comment then, I'm not sure that quite fits, but my comment on the overall proposal is I have a lot of problem with it. And I was increasingly offended each time you described it as such a wonderful rationalization. You've gone from having a garden floor plus 2-story partial width addition that dates back a long way to a full width garden floor plus 4 more floors, full width addition with yet another floor attached to the top. Historically, what we have in our district and in our donuts are partial width additions. And that's really the historical context that we're looking to address when we're considering whether something is appropriate as a change. True it is, we have approved a number of full width rear yard additions, and LPC has approved them in many cases as well. I think it's a relatively good thing compared to some that we've approved, that you're proposing brick and not huge walls of windows, a relatively traditional arrangement of windows on all of your 5 floors. That's, well, on at least 3 of them, I guess, not the bottom 2. That's a relatively good thing here, but I don't think it's rationalizing anything. I think it's making a huge change in what is our traditional rear yard configuration, which is what we are addressing, protecting within reason. I am not keen on this, I guess.
One
I don't
small,
find rear yard addition, that,
Sorry, Mark. Yes.
you want to let him go?
No.
Go ahead.
I don't find that your yard addition detrimental, especially in a donut that's not even a donut. It has big buildings, it has an extra neighbor that's already expanded beyond where they're planning to go. So for me, this seems appropriate.
I did want to jump back on the previous comment because it is something that we had a lot of internal discussion about. And originally the top floor, which is where the parents are going to reside, was originally pressed closer to the street. And it was through design iterations where we wanted to make it less visible from the street that we pushed it further back. So I think that these comments are actually very good, valid things to discuss about how to weigh the massing and also how to play with materials in a respectful manner.
I just look forward to seeing the mock-up, only because we have just found it to be, I look forward to seeing that. It seems, the back seems to be, respectful to the setback and keeps a lot of the backyard intact, which is great. The front is beautiful, and I think that the benefit is the high, very top decorative piece is very beneficial for you because it is blocking everything behind it, including the addition, even though that's a little bit taller than the neighbors. That's a big win. Or at least the front, because it'll hide anything in the back. So we look forward to the mock-up and to resubmitting some photos when that's done with something bright and yellow that won't, orange that won't.
We usually do orange if that's okay.
It typically is orange, and that would be great.
Great.
Okay. All right. Having heard from everyone and thinking that there is support, I added one clause to the resolution. So I have now the following facts and circumstances were considered by the committee. 144 West 80th Street is an 1891 Renaissance Revival brownstone. The proposed additions are not visible from the street. The committee will review photos of the mock-up of the addition when it becomes available to ensure that the addition is not visible from the street. Therefore, be it resolved that Community Board 7 recommends approval of the proposed additions as appropriate to the structure.
You haven't mentioned what historic district it's in.
Okay. Mark, do you know which historic district this is in?
Yeah, I can look it up 1 second. I have it right here.
You don't have to, but it's a good idea.
I'm sorry. It's the Upper West Side, Central Park West Historic District.
Okay, thank you.
And Adam, I'm not sure how you ended up your final thing,
Yeah.
but you need, I think, to say appropriate to the building and to the historic district. I don't know how you wrote it. I can't remember.
Okay. Any other comments?
No, I was just
Same with the
gonna
last one,
suggest
actually.
the additional language. I would make the approval
Contingent,
conditioned on
yeah.
verification of the lack of.
Okay, so I can say
Okay.
this approval is contingent on verification.
With the verification that it would not be visible.
You could even make it specific, say photographic verification, so it's clear what we're gonna get.
Confirmation that it's not visible.
Exactly,
And that will have to happen before the full board.
before
on
the full.
the first week of March. And if it doesn't.
Well, I'm kind of tired of all the snow hanging around.
I
so
know, I think we're getting close, we're getting.
Starting to melt, yeah.
Okay. Can someone make a motion to vote?
So,
Okay, all in favor? Okay, opposed? Abstaining? Cause, okay, so this passes 5-1,
No,
5-0.
sorry, 5-0-1.
5-0-1.
Do you, thank you, Mark.
Thank you, guys.
Do any of you would any of you like to give us your email address and we can connect you to the board office? Okay, excellent.
Thank you all.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you can. Here, you can jot it down.
Have you been given like a project manager on site for the construction? Like a cell phone that's typically done?
We exchange, they send our lawyers with some sort of agreement that says that we cannot complain on 311, we cannot go to, like, it's not
Yeah,
something we can really deal with, and we're
Not that
small
there's anything
fish.
wrong with lawyers, but they do sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, our next applicant is 3 Riverside Drive.
Hi, Mary.
Oh, you're here. Okay, great.
Welcome.
Then we don't need to add you. And I think we have your slides. So we
Yes.
should be.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Good luck. Let us know.
Yeah, we'll just get your slides up and then we will get started.
No, it's the one on the left next to
Excellent. You feel free to start.
And then can I just prompt you and
Sure.
to go then? Okay, great.
I'll listen.
Okay, good evening. I'm Mary Langan from O'Neill Langan Architects. I'm presenting 3 Riverside Drive. It is the building next to the brick building that's on the left there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's known as the Kleberg Mansion. It's as you turn the corner round onto Riverside Drive off of 72nd Street. It was built in 1896 by Charles Gilbert. It's a sister building. There are other Gilbert mansions that are on 72nd Street. The building is under construction. We are seeking a certificate of appropriateness for a rooftop bulkhead addition, which would entail an elevator bulkhead and a pergola. The elevator bulkhead is visible from, yes.
Can I just ask you to pinpoint which building it is? I'm still
For a
trying
better
to-
picture, we can look to, it's this center
Oh,
one.
it's the
Yes.
small-
The one all the way
okay.
up.
It's the French Renaissance Revival Building, limestone. exterior. It has been before CB7 and LPC before by a prior owner. The building was abandoned, the construction was abandoned during COVID. My client, Jeff Beal, who's here with me tonight, has picked it up. And we are looking to sell it. So we are doing a bulkhead addition and pergola on the rooftop that can be seen from the pedestrian right away. We do have a mock-up that is in place. Hopefully you've been to see it. There's also a rear areaway alteration. Can you maybe just go back? Because I want to just show you one thing that is kind of critical here. There's also a rear facade window alteration. It is for one window. The rest of the windows have been approved by Landmarks at staff level. And then we are also proposing a front yard areaway addition. So if we can go to the historic photos toward the front, yes. So that's the original Kleberg Mansion. You can see the original building, which the original Schwab House is what you see on the photograph on the left. You see Schwab House on the left there. Obviously, as we all know, the pedestrian scape has changed over the years.
Schwab House, was it Schwab Mansion?
Schwab Mansion, yes.
Schwab House
This is what
something else.
replaced it, yes, I'm sorry. So I would like to point out though, the existing front yard, which you see on the left, which we'll discuss further along in the presentation, that is what we are looking to restore in some ways. So that will be crucial, that slide number 3 on the left there as we go along, okay?
Slide number 3.
No,
So we can keep going up. Yeah, so that, what you see on the left, the photo on the left there, okay, it's important to look at. Okay. We can go up to the next slide, yeah. So this is what you see from the street. Right now, the building, as it exists now, the existing building, was an ornate wall as you entered into the building. So we are looking also to reconstruct that. The prior owner demolished it. So as you go to the next slide, I'd like to point out the building right now, it has 5 floors and a 2-level roof. So the roof toward Riverside Drive is at a higher level than the rear. So the rear yard, the roof steps down, which is in our favor because the rooftop addition, the pergola part, you don't see it from Riverside because it is at a lower level. So it's in a lower elevation on the roof. The elevator bulkhead, we have situated it closer to the taller building that is to the north. So that taller structure that we're proposing is nestled closer to the taller building, and it is 50 feet in from the line of the front of the building. So we've pushed it back as far as we can into the structure, and it is nestled so that it kind of blends into the building scape, if you will. You can go to the next slide. This slide here illustrates obviously the existing facade of the building and elevation. The second slide is what was previously approved by Landmarks for the prior owner, which was an existing bulkhead, which you can see is that sort of elevation there that we're showing. And then we are seeking an additional 5 feet. We are proposing a taller bulkhead than what LPC had approved by the prior owner. My client, he has a disability, he has multiple sclerosis, and he plans to use the building in its entirety for his entirety. And so we're seeking to have an elevator that he can use for his enjoyment of the building. So you can see here the bulkhead that it rises up, and it is against that taller building. Next slide. And then we can keep going here. Okay, so you see in green, that is the bulkhead. You can see it from across the street by the Eleanor Roosevelt statue, and we'll show you, we did a mock-up, and you can see, you don't see it as much from, right outside. You really start to see it, as you know, as Riverside kind of turns around and across the street, on 72nd, as you go in toward where all the river, the Hudson River Park kind of comes up. You can see it there. You'll be able to see it. And you can see the areaway extension toward the sidewalk is also shown in green there as well.
Although there's no mock-up of that.
No, there's no mock-up of the areaway extension, no. So you can see on slide, on drawing 2, that's the existing, and then you can see where we've tried to recreate the original areaway wall in the limestone to bring that back to its original life there. So we've tried to recreate what the original building, the areaway wall was there. And I'll explain that it's at the end of the presentation. So I'm focusing first on the rooftop here, and then I'll finish with the areaway extension in the front yard. So next slide. Here's the diagram, which shows the extension on the roof. The blue is really outlining for you what was previously approved by Landmark. So you can see, can I get up to show you?
Yeah, sure.
So this is what was previously approved here in the blue. And then this is what we're coming back to Landmarks for, is this extension here.
Well, that, what you said, that whole front piece in blue, is that gonna happen?
This is,
No, no.
I'm sorry, this here?
Yeah.
No, that's not happening.
That's not
Yeah. The design has changed from the previous owner.
So this is instead of that.
Yeah. Next slide.
And that was never built.
Correct. They
But you're
were,
also, if you can go back a second, you're showing a different window there on the side. Is that part of what we're talking about now as well?
I'm sorry, which one?
Near the side of the building.
On the bottom.
If you could talk about the window, yeah, that window.
This one, yeah, this has already been approved by Landmarks. Yeah. Mhm. Okay, next. This is giving you reference, these are the existing, the interior plans. So you can see where that, where I'm talking about the elevator is here. How it's sitting back within 50 feet from the building. And then we have, that you don't see from the street, we have an outdoor pergola. This is a plein air pergola. And then the higher part of it faces the rear of the building. So you do not see this structure from the street. This is what you see from the street, this mess here. Okay.
Was that, Landmarks previously approved an elevator? Okay.
Yes, but it was a bit
Before
more.
that, was there an elevator?
In the building, there was, yes.
So there was always a bulkhead?
Yes, there was, but not as tall as this elevator. Yeah.
So this would be the third iteration of an elevator?
Yes, yes. Next. This is the existing roof. So you can see here the multiple levels of roof here that happens in this building. So this part here is the upper, kind of the upper level. So here we're at the lower level. You actually go up toward the front. So Riverside is this way. So you go up toward the front, and this is the tall building that the elevator bulkhead nests against. Next. This is our mock-up. So you're looking toward, on slide 3, you're looking toward Riverside. So that's one of the beautiful gargoyles that sticks up. So that actually hides what you're seeing in that mock-up with the fencing in the orange. That's our guardrail. So that will be, we're proposing a wire guardrail, very much what Landmarks likes to see in a guardrail. So that's the 42-inch high guard. And then in the foreground of this photo in the mock-up, you're looking at one of the posts that's part of the the pergola, the open air pergola, and that's also, in slide number 1, that's the bulkhead for the elevator. Okay, next slide. And so these are photos of the mock-up from the street. So you can see, you do see the top of the railing here, and then in the foreground, you start to see the elevator bulkhead, or in the background, I'm sorry.
So in the previous version, with the lower, it looks like it probably wouldn't have been seen.
It was, you could
This
see
looks-
in the, I saw the prior submittal. I'd like to say that it was from dog's eye view.
Yeah,
You saw just the
Just a
top
tiny
of the
bit.
bulkhead. Yes, you
'Cause
did
this
see it.
looks visually like it's the exact difference as to what it was and what was approved.
Yeah, but it, it was definitely, wasn't at eye level.
Yeah.
Because when I saw it, I said, but yeah, you did see just the top
Very
of it.
short person.
Yeah, a very short person. But if you go to the next slide, as you turn the corner, you do see more of it.
This one?
No, if you go, so when you stand
this.
across the street and you're past the Eleanor Roosevelt statue, so we took it from across the street. That's where you start to see more of this. But again, you are against 5 Riverside here. So you're blending in with the cityscape here, okay?
And the materials.
So we're proposing to use a stucco that will blend in with the limestone of the building, but we are proposing to put solar panels on this. So we're very energy conscious in this building. So we would like to put solar panels on that building. You will see it in the rendering.
On the sides of the bulkhead? or
On the
top?
bulkhead,
On the
yes,
sides?
on the sides, yes.
So they would be made out of what?
Solar panels, they're like a black. We have tried to find something in technology that would blend in. We have not yet.
The solar panels won't increase the height.
No, they won't increase the height
Beyond
at
the
all.
side.
We're using the surface, yes,
The south and west surfaces of the bulkhead would be covered with solar panels.
yes, yes.
Get
You'll-
some solar.
Yeah, you will see it in the rendering. We have rendered it. We're hoping they read as windows, like that it will be reflective. So these are the rendered image is what you're seeing here. And then next. And so you can see the rendered image there. So we tried to make it look, the structure, we're trying to tone the structure of the bulkhead to match the limestone. And then we're trying to use the solar panels to look as if they were windows.
So it'll be covered with black solar panels.
Yes. The intent. Okay, and then next. And here we're just showing reference of, similar railings on top of the roofscape of adjacent buildings in the neighborhood. And then next. So this is our rear yard, just to show you context. And this is more about the window. So the building up until of late has been boarded up. So Landmarks has not approved one window. You cannot see it from the street. I'm here to present this tonight. So there is a curved facade in the building. So if you go to the next slide, you can see here, this is the windows in question. We found on the interior of the building 2 very large casement windows, and we were supposing that perhaps there were large casement windows there. Landmarks believes they were curved double hung windows. We would like to make them large casement windows to allow light in, because that will be the family's dining room. So they were asking that we bring that before the commission. So we're showing that to you this evening. So the next slide. Oh, I should also, you can see here on the proposed, on the number 2, that's the existing roofscape. And then on the right here, that is the elevator bulkhead, the back of it. That's also mechanical rooms and also has mechanical equipment with screening on it. And that is the back of the pergola that you're seeing. Now, we will show you, there is a small areaway on West End Avenue that it leads to an alleyway that one of the buildings uses for their trash to exit. You can see a little bit of that pergola from that vantage point, and I'll show you that as well. So that's that view.
On the window that we're reviewing,
Yes.
that window you can't see from
You
the
cannot
public. So the
No.
reason we're seeing it is because staff disagrees about what that window was
Yes.
originally. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so next. So this is that areaway. So that's the existing view 3 all the way on the left. And then the middle is the mock-up, so you really can't see it. And then we've tried to render it, but it's very, you just see a glimpse of it. So that is the pergola on the roof there.
This is on what, if you're on West End Avenue between 72nd and 73rd, looking
Yes.
all the way west.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Although I'm sorry that I'm not clear on that. I know what you're showing us, but what is it, where is your mock-up showing?
You can't even see
If
it.
you can't
To
see
the
it,
extent you said it's minimally showing.
it's right here.
Oh, that's the pergola.
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't think that's what you'd notice if you're walking down West
And
End.
what's the difference between number 2 and number 1 there? Or what are the two different?
One is just the existing, this is the
That's
mock-up, the orange mock-up,
Sorry,
and
but
then the 3 is, oh, it's here, it's hard to see, it's here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That's what I
this is
thought.
the building next to us, I'm sorry, it's
Yeah,
here.
that's the thing.
It's, yeah. I don't know if did anyone get a sign to go by?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
Did you, yeah, you probably can see it if you stick your head in there.
That big
Step over the
panel
trash.
blocks the view, the angle. of the
Yeah.
photo.
Yeah.
It's not-
Combination question,
Jay,
comment.
can we get through the whole presentation? Unless,
I'm
unless it's
sorry.
about that specific little thing.
No,
Okay.
it's about the.
Yeah.
Okay. We're almost to the areaway. Okay, so this is the what we showed, landmarks for the window. The requisite drawings for the windows. And then next would be the front areaway. So again, we're showing the existing photo. So what's there now is a sidewalk wall, and the existing stair down is there. We would like to reactivate that stair. So this building, it right now has a cellar and a sub-cellar. And so we would like to reactivate the entry into the cellar. In order to do that and to make it code compliant, we cannot go straight down that way. So in order to do that, what we've looked at is reconfiguring the stair such that you enter it by going in toward the main entrance and then making a left, so traveling parallel to Riverside Drive. So if we go to the next slide.
Can I just ask before you go
Yes.
back, is that little fence thing, is that where you're talking about moving?
Yes, so you would enter this way. So we'd have one point of entry
No.
versus going here.
This railing, you're asking about this
Yeah,
railing?
is
This
that-
railing is just temporary.
Okay, so where on that photo, where is the entry gonna be?
You would go here and then go this way to get down toward this entry. I can show you on the plan. So if we go to the next slide.
And does the owner own that property or is that the
It's
DOT?
It's the DOT, so we are going for their DOT revocable consent, yes. And they already approved this as well. And Landmarks already approved this as well, so we're going back again. With a similar plan as what was already approved, okay? If we go to the next one. So the way it will work is you will come in here, we'll have a gate here. We'll reconstruct this wall here and this wall here, okay? Back to the original. We'll have a gate here and then you'll come in, you'll step down, you'll land, you'll step down and go around and into the building. So I can get a code compliant stair that way. Okay, and then this wall will replicate similarly, very much similarly, not exactly the same, but similarly what was there. Okay, we are trying to figure out why in the original you saw in that photo, it was curious as there was a smaller piece right here. And then there was a break here. So I'm not really sure why it was that way.
Can you show us that again?
Yeah, if you go back up.
How much of the sidewalk you take?
Go up one more second.
Oh, yeah,
So you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see this here. But if you look here, you go up a little bit more. Yeah. There wasn't access here. So it's a little curious as to why that was that way.
And then this is the hatch.
That's the
in that
hatch, the wall.
turquoise
Yeah, so
is what we-
those stairs, these stairs do exist still. We've gone through them. I don't want to excavate anymore in this building. So that's why we're trying to.
The neighbors will be happy.
Yeah.
Are there windows on the basement level that'll look on this areaway or no?
No.
Okay.
So just so I understand, you're going in towards the front entrance, you're making a left,
Yes,
going down a couple of steps?
yes.
And then what, flat
And then-
around the side?
Yeah, and going down some more land and then going down some more.
And there's an entrance way then to get further down,
Yes,
and that's what, just a stairway?
yes, yes.
Well, we've got these slides on if I can ask, although we're supposed to save our questions, but we don't. Currently, the front door has sort of an instruction door and you can't tell what's there. Is there anything now or about or going to be before us concerning the restoration or whatever of the primary entrance?
That has gone through to landmarks already and been approved. So we are we are restoring the door back to what it was. Yes,
Good.
yes.
It looks bad today.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
That's good.
Questions? Go for it.
Well, what I was gonna, it's sort of a combination question, comment on the bulkhead, on the rendering that you have on the bulkhead, what you're saying is going to be limestone. When I look at the rendering, I see it in the context of being up against the brick building.
Yes,
Did you consider the bulkhead being brick?
no,
It seems to me if we blend and from a site point of view, be less outstanding or less visible. So right now you've got essentially a limestone block against,
But covered
brick
with solar
back.
panels,
what?
but covered with solar panels.
Yeah, well, any way you slice it, it's gonna have
Yeah.
solar
But I
panels,
think
but the main, content is still gonna be limestone, the way you're proposing. I would just suggest you think
Yeah,
about doing it
yeah.
in brick.
okay.
Seems to me it would disappear.
we can discuss that as a
Yeah.
committee when we get there. Other questions for the applicant? Yeah, Clary.
I have some questions. So there's been an elevator, there is an elevator, has been an elevator. Is this elevator that's now proposed or being installed to create accessibility by elevator to a higher level than previously? That is, for instance, we've seen this happen before, to the roof level as opposed to the top residential floor? What is the purpose really of the higher elevator bulkhead?
Okay, so there's a few reasons. One is, yes, to get to that higher level of roof, so that my
To get by
client,
elevator to be
yes,
able to step
so
out
that
on
my
the roof.
client can get to that higher level
Okay.
and doesn't have to rely on stairs because he is disabled. He's also a musician. So the elevator can take a grand piano in it. So that's another reason that the elevator is big. Well, no, so to move it.
Play
to-
on the roof?
No, to move it within the house.
Yeah.
So, but mainly so that he can get to the roof. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, my, two more sets of questions, I think. One is, you've shown, a new or restored, or recreated, knee wall for the areaway, with some, I'm not clear on what decorative elements you're proposing there, but, when I looked at plans a day or two ago, I thought I saw a whole lot of ironwork or something to create gates and things that did not appear in your, I don't think.
We didn't get to the whole
Showing the
presentation. If you'd like to go to the, you know.
So it's not
five-
just,
five
it's
slides,
not
maybe,
just
but-
the knee wall, right? It's what else down there on the sidewalk?
No, the only
For the
gate
areaway.
is, well, there's a gate as you come in.
Yes.
There'll be a gate there.
But what's the point of the gate if you can step over the knee wall? There must be more.
You can't step over the knee wall.
Kids.
Why can't you step over the knee? Oh, because of stairs?
Yeah, there'll be a stair there going down, so
Okay.
you could jump over the knee wall if you want. You could also jump over the gate.
Well, but regardless of what you could do, it is what we saw, that is the knee wall.
Yeah, we could go back
Is
through.
that all there is that you're proposing that would be on the sidewalk
Yes.
and not any ironwork stuff?
Yeah, it may be being confused with, we're showing the context of the areaways in the neighborhood.
No, I
Yeah.
There's one going on, that's been going on for years and years and years on West End Avenue between 70
Yeah.
and 3 you may be familiar with. It's got this ton of decorative iron.
No, we're not
Closure, you're not
proposing that. No,
proposing
no. It's really if we can go, I think if you go back to, the 300, we can just flip through that very quickly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we're really proposing the two walls that are missing. We're proposing to reconstruct this one, and then this one, if we go up a little bit here, yeah. A little bit more. Okay, so if this is missing, and then we're proposing that we take this part and then put another post similar to it out here, and then from here to here.
That's the gate.
We'll make a gate.
Okay, that's what I thought we were saying. What about decoration, newel posts or any carving or whatever?
This is all
Terracotta, fake
all
terracotta,
limestone,
all limestone.
Yeah.
And, but what kind of design or
If we
decoration?
go,
Can
go
you show
up,
that?
I'll show you. No, here. Up the other way.
Other way.
Yeah, other way, sorry, excuse me.
Down.
No, yeah. I
You just have a
apologize.
page number for me?
Go this way.
Keep going.
There's a photo of what was taken away, that's what I want to show you. Sorry.
Oh, what was there
We're on
originally?
page
Yes.
6.
Go up one more. That's,
Yeah, but there's a better, it's on page 304. It's this. This is what was taken away.
Oh, thanks.
So that's what we want to
Oh,
recreate.
okay, well, we're not getting that at all. I mean, I see that now, but,
Yeah.
so how do are you getting one of those non-existent stone carvers from 100 years ago to carve the stone or what?
We will have to get to that, yeah, probably, we'll use a Haddon Stone or one of the companies that recreates those, yeah.
Out of actual limestone?
That would be our hope, yeah. We
Uh-huh.
do have somebody that I work with in New Jersey that does that type
That would
of
be
work.
very exciting. Is that part of, but this is part of what we're looking at today?
Mhm,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
yeah.
because I don't think that was clear.
Yeah, the goal is to
And then you have these little sort of mini temples that are there.
yes, and so
on-
this,
on the-
this motif,
It's very Gothic, it's very,
yeah, this motif here is what we're proposing along that entire wall
Mhm.
in between.
I think it's great.
And then the coping, the same coping. and the same finial cap.
And the same interior carving on the panel.
Yeah, which only existed here.
But
and-
not on the front.
Yeah, not on the front. The front was very, it didn't even look like there was like a rustication on it. But I will work with Landmarks on that.
Okay, my other question, I live opposite this building at 330 West 72nd, and I've looked at it daily for decades. And I did walk
How
by
many
it.
decades?
That
might be.
Went by it because it was my assignment again to look and looked at the mock-up, which we'll talk about in a while, but so, and I also have a terrace and have for the last 15 or so years looked out from my terrace at the roof that you're proposing to raise the bulkhead on. So what's been confusing me, and maybe the answer is that your prior owner did a lot of stuff that's now taken away. It looked as if there was a ton of metal stuff being created on that roof over the last few years. And then when I looked, was able to finally get through the snow on my terrace yesterday and actually look, didn't seem to be there anymore. So your mock-up, but was stuff, and maybe my memory's not right, but was a whole bunch of stuff being built up there and then now gone so that your new owner can do this? Or maybe I was imagining it.
That I don't know.
Okay.
I know when we got there, there wasn't anything on the roof
Okay.
that I can
There was
remember.
nothing there, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
Exterior scaffolding.
Maybe that's.
oh, there was,
There's
yeah, there was
Maybe
scaffolding.
that's what. we were
Yeah,
looking
there was a
at.
lot of scaffolding
For a
on the
long
building
time.
when we got
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Scaffolding came up to the roof height.
Yeah.
And then it was taken down.
All right, that
There's
may,
still one, a lower scaffolding.
Yeah, there was a lot of scaffolding.
that may explain that. That's my questions.
Matt?
No question.
Yeah, but
Well,
quick
Jay,
question.
we'll come back to you. Jen, do you have any questions?
There are big questions. I am concerned about the height of the bulkhead,
Mhm.
obviously, but we'll get there.
Look at that.
Jay, any questions?
Yeah, other than raising the ultimate height of the elevator to provide access to the higher elevation, is there any plan to do anything with regard to accessibility with regard to the main entrance to the building?
Not yet, not at this time, no.
Okay.
What a good question, because there are
Yeah,
several steps.
they are, but they're fairly, I have to say, they're fairly manageable shallow
there's
steps
shallow
right now.
resolution.
Yes. Yeah.
Any other questions from the committee? Otherwise, is there anyone from the public who wants to speak on this item? We'll start. Anyone in the room? Okay. Is there anyone on Zoom who wants to speak on this item? If you can raise your hand. Okay. Seeing no one, I will suggest that we discuss it as a committee. Anyone want to start?
I thought that we weren't supposed to be approving things that are visible from the street, and this is visible from Ellington Street, but from the Eleanor Roosevelt Park and.
I think in the past, we have approved things and disposed of applications very easily because they have not been visible from the street, or have been minimally visible, but the decision is whether or not something is appropriate. It is perfectly fine. There are gigantic additions all over New York City that have been determined to be appropriate.
Visibility does not disqualify.
It's an issue.
Yeah.
It's
It's just something we have to look at.
Yeah. in
As
itself,
Adam
it's
said,
qualified.
as long as it's disclosed and demonstrated.
Yeah.
And its
Look at it.
appropriateness, it's ultimately.
Yeah. Clark?
So this is just a fabulous, fabulous building called by LBC, the Kleberg House. We called it the Broadhead House for many years. When it was that, but, and then it's been kind of a disaster for the past quite a while, with one owner after another, and I'm very glad to see that something good is gonna be happening to it. I love the restoration of the knee wall and hope very much that you can do, and would be very disappointed to find after tonight's presentation that you have not recreated the ornamental stonework there, which is terrific. However, and the side windows, think it's very likely LPC is correct that they were double hung curved windows. There was a lot of curved glass. It's much more expensive, but it was curved glass in those days. I'm wondering whether you've considered or even discussed with LPC casement windows, but casement windows that at least look like flat double hung windows, so you've got a muntin or a
Yeah.
false muntin. That, it seems to me, would be more appropriate, even though they're not very visible. That would be, we've seen applications that have done that, and we've encouraged it in some applications, I think. The part from West End Avenue doesn't bother me at all. I confess I didn't even remember to look from West End Avenue, but that doesn't bother me. What bothers me a lot, however, is the bulkhead. It's very visible from the south side of 72nd where I live. You then walk across the street, you go a little bit west on 72nd, very visible. You cross the street into Riverside Park, very visible. As you said, you walk a little further into Riverside Park, even more visible. And then as you walk in front of the building, it's disappeared. I respect the functional argument for wanting to have the elevator carry a passenger to be able to exit at the roof. And that's the reason for the extension of the elevator to an additional floor. But this is such a fabulous, I mean, it's like a, you know, it's yes, it is the French Renaissance chateau. It's like a little chateau. I just find obviously when it's orange, it's even more glaring than, you know.
Don't paint it up.
Jay had an interesting thought in this rendering here. It doesn't really look as if it's flush against 5 Riverside, but I think if it is, Jay's thought of red brick as opposed to limestone is an interesting one, whether it's better or worse than faux limestone. I'm not sure. And then you've got the solar panel idea, and without seeing maybe, I don't think that's intending to show us what the solar panels would look like, but if it is, can't really tell. So my big problem with this, as I say, cheek wall, great, decoration there, terrific, newel post and all of that. Rear thing at West End Avenue, not a problem. Windows, suggestion, strong suggestion, but I don't know what to do respecting the reason to increase the height of the bulkhead. It is so very visible, and Adam's quite right that we have from time to time recently approved minimally visible extensions, but this one is not minimally visible, and it's on a fabulous building. The one thing I would say, slightly countering what I've had to say, is that initially you had these 4 fabulous, and they are individual landmarks, 3 Riverside, 1 Riverside. I think it's 307 and 309 and 311, West 72nd, that formed this composite of 4 mansions of individual landmarks. Somebody in the 1960s placed this thing in between 1 and 3.
Let's get them in here.
And my husband and I have always called it the ugliest building on Riverside Drive, except when we call it the ugliest building in New York, except when they call it the ugliest building in the world. How does that?
Apologize to the owners of that building.
Yeah, right. How does that fit into the offensiveness of the bulkhead? Probably not. But I kind of can't I don't find the argument for extending the height of the bulkhead, which is not the reason is not really our concern, but it's sympathetic though it is. I just find looking at the mock-up today from various angles, just too much, too visible on a fantastic individual landmark.
I have to agree with Clary on that. And I think doing it in brick won't help because it depends on the direction you're looking at it from.
Yeah.
You won't be looking right at that red brick building. But I just think there are ways, I'm sure, if they tried to make it lower.
I also agree, and because I do think the grand piano is not particularly compelling. And
It's not just the piano,
No, it's
I
just-
should say.
No, I mean,
It's the height. Can I answer your statement, though? We
But do you
have
think other-
tried.
Because there are ways where that last flight to go up to the roof, you put on one of those indoor elevators that goes up that last flight, when you're not going up there except a few months a year. And since it is such an amazing building, and I've been there now that I know what's the broadheads. I knew that, we did a party there, and forget it. But I just think that there, everything else you've done is wonderful, but there's gotta be a way for the people who are to say, it is a landmark, it's a special building. It has views from Riverside Drive that are amazing.
Right.
And we can compromise somehow.
And we will have
make
to
this
split
not
our
quite-
resolution, I think, into pieces.
Can you talk about the height that was approved by landmarks and what the delta is between both of those?
It's 5 feet, that's the delta.
And what was the
What
material?
is the impact of the change, like that piece of equipment and that height versus this? Because
It's the
5 feet is not
size,
a full
it's the
floor.
size of the elevator that
The
we,
footprint, as
yeah.
opposed to the.
it's
Yes.
it's the type of elevator we need needs the additional 5 feet.
But the 5 feet is so the last approved landmark elevator, which was an addition, which bulkhead, which was lower,
Right.
that did service the top floor for.
It didn't
the
go,
roof.
that's why I wanted to point out to you that the roof is a multi-level roof.
So did it go to the top
And so
floor?
for Jeff to be able
Yeah.
to go to the front and see the view, the elevator needs to stop at
Well,
that.
The world isn't perfect.
Yeah,
So,
and
but-
there's solutions to that.
But that doesn't answer, so my question was, so the one that was approved, did it actually go to that level also?
No.
Or it was not able to go to the very
Right,
top?
it only went to the
level.
lower level,
Went
the
to the top
rear, so you could
residential.
only look out
Only
on the
to
rear yard.
The rear yard, and so that is the piece of equipment, it's not the, it's not
And
the size.
to the passage to get from the lower to the upper is quite narrow, so you would only have a mechanical.
But you've got 5 floors of windows to look out at the park. I don't think you have to look out at the park from your roof.
And how many stairs is it? Because it doesn't match the stairs in the front, because you're going to have stairs in the front, right? This is not a ramp in the front entrance. We're talking about,
Right, no,
yeah, so there's stairs in the front that you have to
it's, I think it's,
maneuver,
I'll tell you.
and there's stairs that you have to maneuver, and then you're saying there shouldn't be stairs there.
No, I understand, I
Yeah.
understand your point, yeah. Yeah.
Was the bulkhead that was approved, I assume that was visible.
It
Yes.
was, you could still see it, and I might point out that the other presentation that CB7 and LPC saw did not show that this view that we're showing you. They did not
They did
show
not
this
show
view,
it.
they only showed, if you go back, they only showed the other views
Yeah,
that we're
and that is
showing.
far less.
from dog eye
Yeah,
level.
and that's
Um,
far less.
Not to be,
Yeah,
What do you mean by dog eye level?
they didn't show it from eye level.
sure.
The
So
lower
it's
you are,
1,
the
2,
less you can
3,
see.
4, it's 6 risers up, so
risers,
6,
yeah.
7, so yeah.
So, yeah, it makes a material difference in those
Yeah.
angles.
And
So they
okay.
only showed it from this view, they
Yeah.
didn't show the view that we're showing.
Yeah.
Cause I looked at it, Mary, our consultant sent the presentation to me and I had a little.
You said, oh, we showed too much, we should have.
So we're too
We would have
honest.
visited.
Well,
him,
the
right?
fact is,
Well, that's
the
good.
fact
Thank
is
you
you
for
don't need, you don't need to look at the pictures. You go to Riverside.
I know,
Park.
it's there, I know,
It's
I
just a
know.
little bit, yeah.
Just, I am cognizant
Yeah.
that we have
Yeah,
two
we have
other
to move along.
applicants, so,
Okay, sorry.
Jay, it's not you, we're the ones asking questions. Kay, would you provide how you feel about this? application?
Yeah, so I'm kind of with Jay, that I think cladding that in brick would
Mhm.
make it, not make it disappear, but make it look like it was part of something else going on back there.
Right, you might not even know it was part of this
I think I
building.
would, and then I think it would be more enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I guess with that caveat,
Mhm.
I'm okay with it.
Did you speak? I can't remember.
I'm sorry.
Did you want to speak? I can't remember if we started with.
Well, I mean, just declaring my position on it is, again, and if you look at it, it's not just the building to the north that's brick, but the whole background really
Yeah.
Yeah.
reads brick.
Yeah.
So, I would reiterate that it would be a strong recommendation.
Yeah.
And with that, you know, sometimes you have to compromise on things. And I think, you know, the dedication to doing this building merits some flexibility. So I'm okay.
Yeah, and thank you very much
Yeah,
for
thank you.
taking
It's
this building
beautiful.
and restoring it.
Yeah, my view is I spent a lot of time on Sunday looking at this, and actually, really for me, the most visible stuff was the mock-up for the railing, which is like very visible depending on what angle you are.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, once it's not orange, it will disappear. I thought that the mock-up in the back was gonna just almost, in the rendering, it looks far more visible than it ever really will. And because there's like the windows on the back of 5 Riverside Drive, the way that they're, you know, there's angles, like if everything is already getting broken up, I think that making it brick could potentially work really well. I think it could be difficult to decide if you want to do the red brick or the yellow brick on 5 Riverside Drive, but I think that could probably only help. But I'm not, you know, it's very visible, but I think we've heard a compelling reason for why, from an accessibility perspective, it's necessary. And I think I would just hope that in the renovations of the area way we think about, you guys think about that being a level entry into the building potentially,
Yes.
so that.
So it just kind of comports with the argument, because it doesn't comport with the argument if you can't access the building in the way that you're asking.
Adam, what do you mean by, I'm not clear on what you mean by making a level entryway.
Like the gate
That
on the
decides-
side,
It's not
gate
80
on the side goes to the,
front.
gets you
Yeah.
into the
No, not-
steps.
this one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You
I
had
thought there
5
was a gate
steps
on
there.
this side. Yeah. So I think there's
What do you-
nothing,
I don't understand what you mean.
you're totally, I got confused and thought that there was a gate here. This is the entrance to the building.
But there's still
So never
steps
mind.
there,
Yeah, there's still
right?
steps.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
seems to me
yeah,
an
some
argument
low steps.
against having this high bulkhead,
Yeah.
because you still have 5, I
You
understand they're
know,
low
at some
steps.
point, you'll put a ramp on these
Maybe
3
put a ramp,
steps at the
yeah.
front
Yeah.
or something.
Adam, you did raise one thing
Yeah.
in passing that we didn't talk about, which is the railing.
I'm fine.
And,
with it, yeah.
and, I will say, I think the railing will disappear. I'm less concerned about the railing. I'm way concerned about the bulkhead, but
Yeah.
not the railing.
And I have no issue with the window. So that being said, is anyone taking Jay's idea of asking that the bulkhead be switched to brick? Would that move anyone who currently thinks the bulkhead is too high to think that the bulkhead is appropriate?
No,
Me.
I mean, I think it's a good idea, but it
Okay.
doesn't move me.
So
That's good.
then my gut, counting the votes here, says that we would deadlock.
I think
3-3.
that's right. On only that, I think on
Yeah,
everybody's
Yeah,
okay with
yeah.
Is
everything
that
else.
where you are?
that's where you are. Okay, so we have 2 options. Is there anyone here who would like to compromise and say that they would vote for a resolution saying that we would approve it if the bulkhead was lower? Or we can pass a resolution that does not speak about the bulkhead, but approves everything else.
Well-
And then that part would not go to LPC.
I think we have to,
Yes.
don't we have to say something about the
Yes.
bulkhead, even if we're saying that we.
But it wouldn't,
Our vote split and we did not approve it. I don't think we can be silent about it.
well, how are you gonna pass a
Especially to the
resolution
full-
split
Because you
3-3?
split it. You say we
Include
approve the knee wall, you know, the.
We've done it before.
Okay,
Yes,
so we could,
yes,
you wanna have 2 resolutions and you wanna have the second resolution not go to full board.
It should go to full board as.
How,
vote,
but it
let them
can't,
vote.
we can't put something forward if it didn't pass in committee.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, we can.
We
I'm not
put
sure that's right.
resolutions before full board that have lost in committee.
Well, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Why?
Well, sometimes
Well,
the way
I
our
like-
rules is, they go along.
Democracy, come on.
I don't know the procedural answers. I mean, I think we have probably a 6-0 on all the other elements, although I would like to include the strong suggestion for the windows that they have a muntin that makes them appear to be a double hung. I don't think we should take the position that they need to be curved.
Well, no one can see these windows, so I
It's
don't
getting
really
down
care.
to such a little bit.
Yeah. I don't care what the windows are.
Okay.
Does
How
anyone
many-
else
how
wanna
many
talk about the
feet?
windows?
Is actually visible
Of the windows?
of the bulkhead.
Oh, lots.
Oh, of the
And how
bulkhead?
Is
many
it
feet
full
is it?
5 feet?
Oh, yeah.
Or is
How-
it
How many
Well,
feet?
actually, I'm
I
answering
have
my
to
own
do my
question,
diagram.
Yeah,
because the last one was visible.
Yeah,
and this
you
was-
see-
So
you
it's
see
gotta
a
be
lot.
more than 5 feet.
How much more is this above the landmark approved last time?
5 feet.
5 feet.
Yeah.
What is visible is,
Yeah, that's all right.
it's very minimal what's visible from the street though, on the diagram.
I think
Oh, but just down across the street, you're.
I
right.
have, I
Yeah.
speak
So
like,
it's
I have no
pretty
issue with
much
how it is.
the 5 feet that makes the difference.
Yeah.
Yes,
it
from what
does.
was prior approved.
Okay,
Yeah, it
Yes,
does.
we write the resolution in a way that we approve it, but
Well, is that gonna get a vote? Is that gonna get a fourth
It won't
vote?
get it on the vote, I don't think.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Could I ask something as the owner about the bulkhead?
Sure.
Whole issue of accessibility, because I think it's very, but it's an honest debate, and I especially appreciate hearing that people live right on the block. But this was a house that nobody wanted to buy, and there's a reason. Somebody that is a rich person who wants a trophy home is not gonna want it next to that other building to its right.
As I pointed out, ugliest building. in
Yeah.
Washington.
I'm the guy that was crazy enough to buy it. There's a couple of reasons. I'm a musician and I love places to record music. And this is gonna be much more than a home. It's gonna be a place that I'm gonna record my music. Other people that live in this neighborhood and make the Upper West Side such a vibrant part of our city are gonna come here and make music. I was diagnosed with MS 18 years ago. I wish I didn't have it, but I have it. I can still walk fine, but I know a lot of people in wheelchairs, and we give a lot of money to the MS Foundation, and part of the use of this home is gonna be much more than a private home. It's gonna be a place for events and fundraising and philanthropy. And I would love to have, and I'd love for our neighbors to come too. The view from the top of that building and those gargoyles is, Jim Mary and I stood up there, it's stunning. Okay, so this is a gift back to the city. And I would love to be able to share the splendor of seeing those gargoyles, to somebody that maybe has MS in a wheelchair, that wouldn't have to get out of a wheelchair and go in a separate elevator, they could just go up a temporary ramp into the house and go all the way up. So I just think it's important to tell you the why, because I understand the history of this building, who owned it before. Mary and I are heartbroken that so much was already ripped out of it. And so we're trying to do our best. Yes, there's some selfish interest involved. Of course, there always is, but we want to be good neighbors, and we also want to share this beautiful building with the neighborhood and give it a long life in the future. So that's my opinion.
Heartfelt, though they're probably not relevant to our considerations, but well spoken.
Thanks.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
If any of you were close, I think it's worth changing a vote in committee with the expression of the concerns, and at least that gets it to full board, where we can have a broader
works both ways.
discussion. Huh?
Works both ways.
So
Well-
I take it what you're proposing is that, like, it gets approved with the ask that they work with, I mean, the architect is here, but work to see if there's a way to reduce it by some amount. That's what you're
That's
proposing?
meaningless.
No, I don't.
And I don't know if that's what he's saying.
I don't disagree with Claire. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that someone of the three change their vote just for the purpose of expanding the discussion into the full board.
We could change it either way, but we three
Well,
change.
changing it either way is the same as nobody changing anything, Madge. Because changing it the other way means it doesn't get to full board. And
I'm
right
not
now,
sure that
right
it's
now,
full board.
right now, if Adam is correct, it doesn't get to full.
I'm not sure he's correct, though.
I'm
I mean,
not
we can
either.
check the bylaws.
Well, people don't always follow them either.
Then why do we have them,
It's
Laurie?
me, Adam. I mean, it's a good
Check the
start.
bylaws. But
Absolutely.
I don't understand you, Jay. You're saying if one of us changes the vote, then it would have more of a discussion of full board. But if you change your vote, it won't have more of a discussion? I don't see that.
Well, if we report it,
Say, what if we say that we approve everything, but we would like to find a way to.
I'll
lower
leave that to the chairs. I think it can go to full board with a tie vote.
let's see what it
Does
says.
the bylaws address that? It
I
may
don't
be, Adam,
think-
I don't know.
I'm not sure that it
I'm not
does.
sure, well, you were on a bylaws committee for a few years, Jay. Come on.
Yeah, but that was a few years
Yeah, right,
ago.
I mean, I don't.
I haven't looked at it
Beats me.
recently.
I don't know whether they do
I,
that.
that's not true. I did look at it very recently for a totally
Different
different
reasons,
reason.
yeah, right. I don't know.
I mean, I guess we could just send. Well, this is like insane, but if we could play this game, I think we're all on the same page. Like, we could just all, we could pass 3 resolutions, okay? The first resolution deals with everything we all agree on.
Right.
Then we could pass a resolution unanimously saying that we approve the application. And then we pass a resolution also unanimously saying that we don't approve the application, and then we can bring both of them to full board.
I don't know why they would do either of those. It seems to me, Adam, we do one that says we approve X, Y, Z, and Q. And another one that says.
We don't have an opinion on this. We deadlocked on it.
We split. Here were here's what, you know, the couple things about the issue. We voted 3-3, therefore we are not making an affirmative recommendation, but here's where we are.
Okay, so the resolution won't approve or disapprove. It'll just say, there's a resolution that'll just say, we deadlocked on this issue and want to discuss it. at full
There's
board."
another
But we
solution.
deadlocked only on the height.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
There's also another solution. Nobody wants to change their
Yeah.
vote. Depending on the calendaring situation, we sometimes are in the position where we send a committee resolution to landmarks. Whatever we do, this is going to landmarks.
Do you have a date yet?
No.
It does, you
That's
know,
irrelevant.
whatever we do, this is going to
Yeah,
landmarks.
yeah, of course.
We could send the 3-3 resolution with an explanation within the resolution of what happened at committee and send it to landmarks.
Tell it like it is and send it to the full board. Let's see what the full board has to say. They have to make the decision.
Well, that's
So
fine. if you
Tell it
want.
like
I
it
think we
is.
can
where
do
we approved
Okay, so we'll
everything but
just-
that.
Well, so what we'll do is we'll pass 2 resolutions. The first one will say that we approve all of these things, and then the second one will say that having examined this, the committee was unable to decide on anything, and
Oh, done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Put
yeah,
it
but
that
it's
way.
slightly more, that
Yeah.
people,
Yeah,
several,
it was a tie
it was a
vote.
tie
Yeah, just
because
saying.
of
Vote about
concern
the
about the height.
concerning the
The
appropriateness of
appropriateness of the height
of the
of the
bulkhead.
very visible elevator, okay.
I mean, you can make a specific statement at the committee.
Yeah.
And then determine that it was appropriate to bring it to full board in this form.
okay.
And also, Adam, I think you said at the last meeting that we must absolutely finalize every word of a resolution here.
I
There's nothing.
I prefer to
I don't
do
think
it
that's
that
the
way.
case. I think you can consult with Beverly,
We
you can
could,
consult with
yeah.
Alex, you can consult with
I guess
our
we could.
Yeah.
parliamentarian.
We could work on it.
I don't think they know any more than we do.
Sometimes they do.
Okay.
Not always.
Okay, so the first resolution is gonna be 3 Riverside Drive, Phillips and Maria Kleberg House is an individually designated late 19th century French Renaissance revival row house located in the West End Collegiate Historic District Extension. The proposed areaway enclosure is a reconstruction of the original design. The proposed window replacement is appropriate. Therefore, be it resolved that CV7 recommends approval of the proposed alterations and additions as appropriate to the structure.
I'm sorry, you mentioned that it's an individual landmark. You
I
also-
did at the beginning.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Basically,
All
that's right.
in favor?
Yes.
Here, here.
6, 0, 0, 0.
You got the
Okay.
windows in there too?
I did.
Yep.
Okay, and then what we want to say for the next part is the proposed,
Did you get the railing in?
I did not get the railing.
Does that have to be in specifically?
Might as well,
it's
because
what
we're
you're asking for.
delineating what we're
Okay.
approving.
I'm gonna reopen this and add a
Oh.
clause that says the proposed rooftop is appropriate. It got
Really.
No,
rooftop railing
Railing,
is
yeah.
appropriate. It got left off because it was in
Right.
the
Yeah.
clause about.
Gotcha.
Okay, revoting, all in
Here, here.
favor?
Yes.
Okay, 6, 0, 0, 0. Okay, and then for this, we want to say that the committee, upon discussion of the rooftop addition, was unable to reach an affirmative vote in
It was
I'd say it
favor.
was
or
even-
opposed.
Deadlock.
Was
Deadlock.
evenly divided.
Or evenly
Okay.
divided.
But I think you have to say something about the issue being the height of the.
Yeah, on that
visibility.
issue.
And the height,
Right,
the
the
visibility
visibility from
of-
Riverside
of-
Drive,
of the-
Riverside Park.
of the, and 72nd Street, of the,
Really just from
of the elevator bulkhead.
Okay, upon discussion of the height of the elevator bulkhead and its visibility from
Or
72nd,
from several
72nd
neighboring.
Street and Riverside Park, the committee deadlocked and was unable to reach an affirmative recommendation.
Yeah, that's basically
Do
right.
we want to say anything about the recommendation that they consider? the
Would you
bulkhead?
guys agree that it should be regardless of how
That
high it is?
if
Okay,
I'd
the
be,
board we approve the recommendation.
can we add that clause or people not want it?
I don't know if it doesn't matter if you're putting black solar panels all over it. I think,
Well, they're not all over it.
yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. So.
They're
yes,
covering
It's covering the
the
whole thing.
visible
with-
parts, the west
Yeah.
and south
Yes.
mini
Well,
facades
The
are,
south also,
yeah. she has
Yes,
a-
but they're over the material, so I
Yeah.
would bring it
They're surface
to
mounted.
landmarks
Yeah.
as that.
well,
So it may not
Okay,
matter.
So, okay,
whatever,
so,
you heard it.
I'll just, I will debrief landmarks tomorrow, so I will discuss it with them.
yeah,
See what they say.
because the rendering doesn't really show
No, we don't
with
see the solar
the
panels.
solar panels.
Yeah,
might
so it
be
may not
better.
matter. but something-
Okay. I
okay, so
think
what do we
that's-
want the resolve clause to be?
There's no result,
Okay,
right?
I mean, then there's no resolution, but that's fine. Well, we'll pass something and then we can bring it up and we can take friendly or unfriendly amendments. Okay, so
Sure.
it's just gonna say, upon discussion of the height of the elevator bulkhead and its visibility from 72nd Street and Riverside Park, the committee deadlocked and was unable to reach an affirmative recommendation.
I
Yeah.
think that's fine.
Okay, in favor?
Here,
Okay, 6-0-0-0.
we agree that
Okay.
we're disagreeing.
Yeah. Unanimous that we disagree, that's perfect.
Okay, excellent. All right, our next
That's why
application,
we need
All
one
right,
more
thank
member.
you.
our next
This will be
application is 61 West 90th Street. And that is Michael Chen, who hopefully is
John
on,
knows something.
is still on Zoom.
That's the addition. Adam.
61 West 90.
Okay, Michael Chen, I'm promoting you to panelist, if you could accept. Oh, I promoted the wrong one. I apologize for that. Okay,
So what's the address?
61 West 90th Street. Okay, I promoted Michael. Great. Okay, you should be. We're going in the order of the publicly posted agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you can introduce yourself, share your screen, and we can get started.
Super. Thank you, everyone. I'll try to be brief as in the hour is late. I'm Michael Chen. I'm the principal at Michael K. Chen Architecture. This is 61 West 90th Street in the Upper West Side, Central Park West Landmark District. Here's the location of the building for context in the context of the district. And an aerial view just also for context between Central Park West and Columbus Avenue. These are some historic photos. On the right, the photo at the time of designation, and on the left, tax photo from 1940. The application is to intervene or remedy a number of very peculiar modifications that were made to the ground floor basement level of this building, notably the addition of a single car garage and the removal of the stoop stair, leaving only the cheek walls. Those were changes that were executed prior to the time of designation, and that's the context in which we're operating now. These are some images of the existing condition. You can see that the detail on the original brownstone newel posts has been lost, and obviously the kind of very odd creation of a basement level entry into the building, which is the primary entry into the building, through the extant cheek walls and the kind of remnants of that structure with the stair removed. And there's been some sort of additions and then retention of original ornamental ironwork, which I'll discuss in a moment. This is just for context, kind of the broad strokes description of our proposal. We're in effect kind of talking about removing the remaining cheek walls, which are stucco. There's no original brownstone material remaining, and constructing 2 low brownstone pony walls, repurposing the original ironwork pickets for a new railing that is parallel to grade, restoring the original detail on the 2 brownstone newels that are at the sidewalk, retaining the existing sidewalk gate, and creating a new ornamental ironwork gate, open air gate below, below the existing Juliet balcony, flanked by these 2 new brownstone stucco piers that have details, kind of a chamfer detail that is picking up on an existing ornamental language that is on the building. Just for kind of context, because the intention here is really to bring a really strange existing condition into greater harmony with the adjacent buildings on the block. The 3 other buildings in kind of immediately flanking this one all have basement level entries, as well as this kind of precedent of a low retaining wall with ornamental ironwork mounted on top. And so this is really the kind of the portion of the cheek wall that we're talking about removing on each side. And you can sort of see also on the right, kind of the interface between the existing cheek walls and the rusticated base of the building. There's this existing sort of chamfer language, kind of at the corners, which is something that we'd like to replicate in the new piers that are flanking the entry. And then a model from down the block for the restoration of the original newel posts, which are a bit taller than the fragments that we have remaining. They've sort of lost their little roof line hat. So we'd like to bring back this level of detail at the sidewalk. And then just a closer view of the ornamental pickets that have this sort of squiggle language, which is predominant on the buildings immediately adjacent to this building as well. These are elements that we'd like to reuse in the new rail that would just be flat. So some drawings just to kind of offer context. The intention is to the dashed lines kind of refer to the scope of removal. There's some additional restoration work that is meant to happen at the basement level, as well as replacement of some subgrade drainage, which is very, very badly degraded, which is a little bit the precipitating factor for some of this work. That's all being reviewed and sort of is approvable by the staff. And then just the elevational kind of comparisons. So on the right, the existing condition with diagonal railings, and you can see that the brownstone language of the current front door sort of steps in from the cheek walls. Once reconstructed, we no longer need to have that very narrow entrance, and so the new proposed gate occupies the full width of the opening. So we're really talking about either repurposing or recreating the ornamental grille on the existing door as the open air gate, and then matching sort of gate side lights, if you will, on either side of the gate. Just a closer view of what that would look like, both at the sidewalk level and also at the basement, the new basement entry. And the intention here is really that, you know, this is the location of the front doors is where it is in this building, but trying to bring back the language of basement level entry gates that are kind of predominant, usually on the side of stoops, obviously, but you know, where the entrance actually is in the building. And then just a detailed plan of kind of parlor level with the existing original ironwork, or kind of sort of existing ironwork, and then added onto, but matching the existing ironwork that is on the Juliet balcony on the right, and then the plan of the new basement entry stair and the flanking piers on the left, and then some sections just sort of showing sort of the existing condition of the railing and ornamental metalwork and the proposed. This is a section through the garage, just to the east of the entry, and then a section kind of right down the middle of the entry. You can see that we're reworking the areaway stair so that it is more compliant with contemporary egress standards. And you can also see the location of the original plane of the front door, which is now kind of separated. So we're talking about the weather line being recessed within that existing opening. So this is the new front door, and then this is the ornamental metal gate, in effect, kind of creating a little vestibule for the receipt of packages, and also to kind of keep the family is sort of, they have young children. They've had some people kind of showing up to the glass door and peering into the building. So it's really just to kind of create a little bit of a buffer at the street level. And that is the proposal. Thank you.
Any questions from the committee?
Can you just show the picture of the existing and the proposed stairway joining out at the beginning? It was like the third shot, I think, way up at the top. So I understand they're taking out the stairway and they're putting in this other form of stairway.
I know there were no stairs, but
There
it
were
looks
no,
like
there is no stair now. So this is the existing opening, the existing entry. So the stair was removed prior to designation, leaving behind the cheek walls and then these two kind of brownstone buttress elements. And all of this material is stucco. It's not the original brownstone anymore. So really what we're talking about doing is removing the portion of the cheek wall that remains, and creating and kind of bringing the ornamental language of the building like straight down to the sidewalk. So that's sort of this rendering comparison. So this is the existing with the remnant cheek walls, and then the proposed with the low pony wall and the ornamental railing mounted on top.
Yeah.
And I have to ask the question because when you're on the street, you see the additional brownstones that continue, you know, to the east, and they have full stoops and they have entries below. And so this is gorgeous. It's beautiful. I was there. I saw the people enter and exit, and I see down the street stoops. Was there a consideration to rebuild the stoop and to build the traditional door in the interior? But is that a problem with the garage?
There was not, and it's simply because, as you can imagine, the interior of this building has also been substantially modified from its original plan. So there's really not a viable entry into the building at parlor level through the room that is in the front.
I think there are doors that sometimes are put on the exterior of the stoop, you know, like it would be underneath the stairs.
Underneath the stairs. Oh, yeah. I mean, like we wouldn't be able to, I mean, we can't make an areaway. They'd have to forego the garage that exists now in order to get the areaway stair that would get you down to grade from the side, you know. But also I guess the you know, the immediate neighboring context is that every building is entered at the basement level. You know, there's
So they all
there-
have, yeah,
right. So-
many of them have a stoop, yeah.
You have a, we see the picture of the original doors.
the original door, the existing door, you mean?
Is existing, it's not original.
No.
It's not original. It's not in its original location.
At the parlor floor level, you mean?
No, at the,
Basement?
But it was
At the
changed
basement
in
level.
like the nineties. It was changed a while ago.
so there's no historic photo.
There is a historic photo.
There is a
There
historic
was-
photo, but there's no
Yeah.
door there.
The only
There's, I
one
mean, there's
was
no
in
photo of the
So-
door. Right.
Oh,
was-
no, that's okay.
It was under stairs, so you didn't
Right.
see it.
Yeah, it was
was
under
just part of
stairs.
the areaway.
That's the original on the left. And then
Right. So
the-
this is the original condition here with the stair. And right, there was a door underneath, but we don't know what that door looked like.
And the car is blocking
Well, but it would have been under the stoop, so
Yeah, on this.
the entrance.
you're gonna see it anyway.
No, I understand. What I'm asking about this.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just-
you
it's
can.
just the stoop, yeah.
Okay, Clary, I think you had a question.
Yeah, so I was really confused when I was reviewing this in advance and trying to figure out what really this was all about. Your presentation has been very helpful. I guess my question's been answered now, which is you're not, still not providing an entrance into the parlor floor,
Correct.
which is, right, so, yeah, I mean, I guess my questions are answered, and I think you've explained a number of both functional and aesthetic reasons that I can understand now, so, okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll take public testimony. Is there anyone from the public who wants to testify? If there's anyone on Zoom, can you raise your hand? Okay, excellent. All right. I think this is totally fine. Totally happy with it. I have nothing to add.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I think it's an improvement, the fact that you've got those cheek walls. I guess I said knee walls when they were knee height, and you said cheek walls when they're cheek height, which is right. Going with nothing in between them is very odd.
Yeah.
And, so, I mean, nothing is gonna get rid of this, if the garages, we're stuck with the garage and stuck without restoring the stoop and the entry at the parlor floor, you've probably done as well as you can, for some good reasons, I'm fine with it.
Okay, okay, Jen?
Yes.
Okay, great. The draft we have is 61 West 90th Street is an 1885 Queen Anne Romanesque revival brownstone in the Upper West Side Central Park West Historic District. The proposed alteration to the remains of the front stoop and construction of a new areaway is fitting with the other buildings on the street. Therefore, be it resolved that Community Board 7 recommends approval of the new proposed front entryway and areaway as appropriate to the structure.
And to the historic district.
We can add that.
Sure.
Beautiful building, thank you. I like that garage.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You're just jealous.
I'm
All,
totally jealous.
all in favor? Okay.
Reminds me of that movie Arthur. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Drives
Oh.
around, he drives,
Okay.
drive the car right in.
Our
Yeah.
final application this
Thank you.
evening. Thank you.
Thanks.
Is 42 West 70th Street. Are you guys perfect?
All right,
We
welcome.
will bring the slide. Thank you for
Thanks for waiting.
No, thank you for
Sorry.
taking the
Bring it
time. It's
on.
like, I know it's like a long meeting. I'm totally
one of
ready
our
for
longer
this
ones.
because I saw like there was 7, 8 items. I'm like, okay, fine. So my name is Fan Ran. May I just start? I guess.
Just give Jen 1 second to get your slides up and then we can begin.
Yeah.
You're the architect?
Yeah, I'm the architect, so I'm from the architecture studio. This is my own practice. This building, as a young architect, definitely teach me more than what I can bring to this building. But I'm here today to request the legalization for the as-built condition that we did for the rear facade top windows. So this building has been approved previously under CFA, which allow us to reconstruct the rear facade. And we basically try to follow all the details that has been outlined and asked us to do to restore the rear facade. But what happened, unfortunately, is
when we are finishing up everything, the top 3 windows, so the landmarks, went on site and did the inspection to see everything, if everything's fine. So they did notice that this is the rear facade of the building.
Can you enlarge that, Jen?
Yes, I can. Is this the right slide for you? I'm gonna
Correct.
Start here?
Yep, sure, absolutely. I mean, the first 2 slides are the background of like what was the previously approved and what was the context.
So was that rooftop addition approved?
Yes, that was done in 2022, so it was a long time ago. And it's not part of the request that we have today.
So what is it that you're seeking to have?
3 windows at the top. Why did Landmarks approve those along with everything else?
They approved it. The issue is the as-built. So we are supposed to align the top. So the top 3 windows are supposed to be exactly the same as what the original look, and it's supposed to, because it's one of the 10-row houses. And when the windows were done, it's misaligned with our neighbors, and that's when they find out on site that there's like 1 core set misaligned on the top, and I believe there are 2 or 3. We're gonna have like close-up look, 2 or 3 bricks misaligned on the sill level.
I don't understand.
Shocking.
So, okay.
Are you saying that as built, the middle window is not symmetrical and farther to the left? It looks like the.
No,
No, it's
they're a little bit larger,
What
right?
is it that's different?
A little bit
so
lower.
we have like if you scroll down to the next page, so this is the original facade, the original top windows,
Yeah.
with the measurement.
Uh-huh.
And if you can tell that I have all the, so I just go there.
Well, they're not symmetrical.
Yeah, originally it wasn't.
The 2 left
Yeah,
ones
yeah,
are close.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
not his problem.
The issue happens to the lintel.
Okay.
There's supposed to be 1 course of brick between the cornice, the corbel, and the lintel, and then below it is supposed to be, the sill height is about like 1 foot 10 inches. This is the original. The measurement wasn't the original because when we look back to the original measurement, it wasn't saying the same. But this is all inferred from, this is the original photo taken back in 2022 to 2021. I was counting the brick courses to guess what was the original height of the window and get to this conclusion that we're supposed to have 2.5 inches brick above the lintel, and then below the sill, we're supposed to have 1 foot and 10 inches tall.
And instead, you have.
No bricks above. Yeah.
Right, instead, like now you just flip the next page, which is what it looks like after construction, reconstruction. So we don't have, the resolution does not really give a lot of details, but we don't have a brick here on top of.
Well, you
Looks like you do.
What, no,
It's
it's
a
not.
coordinate.
If you look here, look at the window to the left.
Yeah.
Do you see this sill is like 2.5, sorry, this top of this window is probably like 2.5 inches lower than this one. It's a very small difference.
Yeah.
So why didn't you, can we ask a question? Why didn't you, when whatever discrepancy was discovered that led to this change, why didn't you go to LPC at that time and say, hey, we can't do it this way? Can we
No,
amend or whatever?
They didn't know that there had been an error until LPC inspected after all the work was done.
Oh, I see.
There's a lot of reason to get to this result, but I'll go
But
to
it
that.
looks like this house is still seriously under construction. The whole thing is covered with scaffolding in the front, and so it looks like it's had, why was the window done for the, I mean, I don't know that this is relevant or not, but it seems sort of backwards, the whole thing.
Oh, no. The scaffolding was on for inspection purpose for us to invite the landmarks to look at because there's some infill panels on the front, so they want to check that out. And then some scaffolding still left here was because they're still doing some, the metal panel on the rear facade on this level below the top floor.
Can I ask one other thing? The red line you have, the dotted red line, is those windows supposed to come down lower too? Or just, it's just the top course that's the problem.
So the top course and the sill, so this window is supposed to be longer and also come down one course.
So the window is too short
Yeah.
and it's slightly too tall.
Well, wait,
Too short, too
Sorry, and it's slightly too high.
Too high, yeah, because you can see a little bit, barely maybe have the one next door.
Yeah.
So it
Just looks like
starts
it's much
higher
lower.
than it was approved, and it ends, and the top of it is higher than was approved as well.
And how much lower is it supposed to be?
This red line here is what is supposed to be like this.
So that's just a couple of inches also.
Yep, like
So the same height window but lower, or a different
a
window?
different window.
The window should be probably a course or two longer
Yeah.
and it should be a course lower
Okay.
Yeah.
So why is this being done?
because it was approved.
No, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
I missed the first 2 minutes.
Oh, well, the LPC approved work to have the window in the red outline. They accidentally, for whatever reason,
For whatever
honestly, it doesn't
reason,
matter. They used the wrong window and it's the wrong thing. And now they have to come back to us and have us decide whether we're okay with the window being, you know, I don't want to put my opinion in this, but like slightly in the wrong place and slightly too small.
Yeah.
Well, what's the application to land?
It's to legalize this work
Oh,
that is
oh,
done.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes we legalize like crazy
Oh,
things.
no, that
This
answers
team-
my question.
So I will say, I think, any other questions for the applicant? Okay.
Yeah, well, wait,
Yeah.
are the sills are what were approved,
The sills were, yeah.
and the lintels were approved?
Yeah.
It's just the window, placement and they're slightly less tall than what was approved.
So you did it as it was approved, or you didn't?
Did not do it as
They
a.
Oh,
attempted to, but yeah.
But
They came-
not because of, that's what I'm not clear. It was done in a different way from what was approved because of a physical condition, or because somebody just ordered different windows and put them in?
So what happens, we did this window we ordered is exact size as what was approved on the paper. That's the problem. The measurement on the paper in the document that was approved was small.
LPC approved the wrong drawings.
Is that right?
Yeah,
So it's your fault, obviously.
Because we did remeasure the window before we taken it down, ordered a new one. Surprisingly, we got the same measurement. So my best assumption is the window we measure it, I think there was like wood frame or like surrounding around it that we missed that part. We take that window down, we measure the window, missing the wood, 4 inches, whatever, 2 inches frame around it.
It's,
We don't
it
know.
still doesn't quite answer my question is why is there a necessity to legalize?
Because LPC came, they
Oh, they
looked,
came.
LPC came and they could see
Okay.
this row house next to
Okay.
it and they could be like, the window should be the same.
Yeah.
And now we have to
Oh,
be
so,
like,
okay, so
yeah.
LPC is
yeah,
generating.
Yeah.
Is there a violation issue?
No.
any other questions? Otherwise, I would like to
No.
You
ask.
don't have, can I just ask, you don't have a picture of this one next to the one next
This
to
Well,
it?
there you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is our building. This is the one next to us.
Oh,
And then this is our building, this is the one next to us.
Yes, this is the one,
Yeah.
the one in the first is the
Oh,
best.
dear.
Okay, anyone from the public want to testify? If anyone, yeah, I was gonna say, you're welcome to testify. Okay.
What do you think?
If you're on Zoom and want to testify, can
There's
you
nobody.
raise your hand? Lily, you have 3 minutes to speak, Lily.
Okay, I think the rough opening as existing could have easily been documented. The fact that the GCs on site had to maybe chop some brick away, that should have been known by the architect, or they should have known, they should have notified the architect. Oh, let me check the windows that we ordered. Oh, we goofed up. We ordered the wrong size windows. This becomes like a thing between the architect and the GC. I mean, you know, you don't, nobody just like does a rough brick opening without, you know, I mean, the GCs would have known that like you can't do that. This is an LPC, you know, issue, right?
Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I don't think this was just like a small accident. Changing the rough opening or the brick rough opening is not like a little oops. Like someone should have known.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to testify?
May I have a chance to?
Yeah,
respond?
you're welcome to respond. You don't have to respond, whatever you prefer.
No, because this is reconstruction. It's not like replacing the window. So we reconstruct the whole facade from ground up. So it's not like, oh, we, alter the rough opening, the mainstream work. No, because we basically have to build the wall based on the joints and the documents on the dimensions that we have on the paper. So that's why.
Okay.
Got it.
Committee discussion, I'm totally fine with it.
Ditto.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so the,
Or did you?
well,
No, we haven't spoken.
do you want to
Do you want
speak?
to?
No, I saw you nod. I thought you nodded.
No, this is one of these troublesome situations, not as troublesome as some we've had where the as-built has radically differed or substantially differed from the approved. I'm still not totally clear on what went wrong here, get the general idea. What I'm not bothered by though, is the idea that they don't match precisely the alignments on either side, because we have so many examples of that being the case.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased that these are new double hung windows that as they were before. And we're not seeing some whole completely different set of fenestration up there, so I'll go with it.
Okay, so the resolution that we have is 42 West 70th Street is an 1891 Renaissance Revival brownstone in the Upper West Side Central Park West Historic District. The rear windows on the top floor are similar to the design approved by LPC and are not visible from the street. Therefore, be it resolved that Community Board 7 recommends approval of the installed windows as appropriate to the structure, and I will add for Clary, the historic district.
And I think you need to say something not more than a little or similar to what was approved. I think you have to have some notion of differ in.
This rear window are similar to the design approved by LPC, but are slightly smaller and one course of brick too high and are not visible from the street. Is that fine?
Better.
Sure.
Okay, the rear window on the top floor. Rear windows on the top floor are similar to the design approved by LPC, but are slightly smaller and one course of brick too high and are not visible from the street. Okay. All in favor? Okay, that passes 6-0-0-0. Does anyone have any new business that they would like to raise before the committee? Okay, then can I have a motion to adjourn?
Just one quick thing.
Yes.
I didn't think I caught you on this at the very beginning, the New York Historical Society. In your draft, remind us.
Thank you.
They were the new York Historical Society. You gotta fix that. And now they are the New York Historical. Yeah, but
That's like so weird.
and that's one reason they changed
They
it.
paid somebody a lot of money.
They've had the hyphen for 200 years and then they decided. no,
Yeah, it's like the New York Historical what?
Yes, it's very
Right?
stupid.
Can I get?
Association, society,
Okay.
museum.
They had a branding, so then they changed it back. Philadelphia Museum changed it back.
I mean, it's crazy,
I know.
right?
They were so proud of that hyphen.